Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a beautiful Wednesday afternoon here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the weather is unpleasant. And I'm waiting the next 6 to 8 weeks for this dreadful, dreadful season we call summer to be done and over so that I can live yet again a full life, which involves me going outside, wearing clothes that I like, and just generally being happier and more comfortable.
Pleasant existence.
Yeah, but until then, I'm going to bear down, hopefully mow the grass low enough that the sun kills it, which means I don't have to mow it ever again.
You're trying to kill the grass, I see.
Kill the grass. Kill the grass. The grass is nothing but a giant investment of time. It's as if, imagine for a moment that every week you had to get a 2 to 3 hour haircut. At a certain point, you would just shave your head. And that is my philosophy on the grass.
You're trying to shave your ground.
I'm shaving the head of the earth. Anyway, glad you're all here. Welcome. We're going to be talking about some things that are relevant. One, Gen Con just came and went, and while Zach and I did not go, being longtime veterans in the sense that we know that we don't necessarily need to be there this year in many years, we did get reports from all of our friends on the ground about the games that were popping, about the nature of the event, about the overwhelming buy my book situation for all the trading card games. Whoa! Is that a close-up? Is that actually happening?
What is this? You can't just spring this on us.
Whoa, look at that. Look at him. There he is.
Multi-shot stream.
The shining star. Hey, everybody. Where's that?
That's a real...
Man,
that's like a political ad. You remember? Was it? Who had the ad with the guy smoking, and then it's like the guy shaking his head?
He's the candidate.
Just like the way you paused and just pointed. Man, stuck the landing. Is that a real? What? That's just an innovation, Ramley.
Yeah, we've got some.
I don't even know if it's better. It's just you can see us more, I guess.
Terrence is right.
Also should be mic'd. I don't know if people can hear me.
Yeah, hold on. Let's bring in the John Cam. Let's just do all the things. He's back. Can you guys hear him now instead of a distant ghost
I'm here.
voice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds good. That sounds
production.
Good. Great.
And if you're listening, you can see none of this.
You can see none of it.
Wow.
Why would you?
But you can hear Jonathan.
I can even be in your shot.
Oh my gosh! Look at that. You're like a star.
Steven.
Just revolving. Look at that. Everybody's just a body. Just a gravitation.
That is true.
I should plan into plans. Here's the thing, Terrence, though, is like, okay, listen. The reality is, yes, you can. Okay, I'll eventually figure this out. I just don't have the time and the energy to figure out how to make the system work. But what I do know is I don't necessarily want super tall native plants either all around the house. We killed 3 copperheads out there the other day. We didn't. I mean, the collective we. The guy that picked up that storage container, God bless us for getting that off the property, he said there's 3 copperheads under there and he killed them all. Pretty cool. Anyway, there's a lot of things, I guess, to talk about. Anyway, back to Gen Con, where there are no snakes, as far as I know, but the dangers are probably even more so from the rest of the crowd. I think that the theme of the con this year was, oh my God, there's so many TCGs, this is insane, and also it's very derivative. So the question that Zach and I have is, amidst the Gen Con reality, which is a good representation for the industry at large. I would say it's a pretty good representation. And amidst Hub World Eidolon pre-orders going live on our website this week, and amidst Sorcery continuing to, of course, have a presence online, there's a lot of questions swirling about basically, is the quality of the product and the experience the product is bringing and the game itself, is all of these things, is that enough anymore? Or do you have to basically go out there and scream in people's faces until they hand you hundreds of dollars of cash because they feel guilty and want you to leave? So that's, I guess, how I would frame the question. How would you frame the topic today, Zach? Given how it's all just right from the top here.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a continuation of our Noise podcast from a few weeks ago, where there's so many games coming out all the time, and not just games. I mean, not just games or tabletop games, but specifically so many expandable card games, whether collectible or not collectible. It is wild when you actually think about it, and a lot of times we draw comparisons to the 90s, and it has similarities to Magic kind of taking off, and then all these other games starting to come to the market. But we have the original big three: Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then you have newer entrants like Flesh and Blood. But then you've got the One Piece and the Gundam and the Digimon and the Naruto and the Hellbreak and the
One Piece.
The One Piece.
that "the" is a critical addition to that explanation.
Yeah.
The One Piece, the Narutos, the
like
the Schlotzkys, the Arby's.
Yes.
You're one step away from calling it the Nintendos.
Hey, I'm accepting my wisdom and age.
We never got into that line of games.
There are just so many games, and before you even get to what I would consider the indies, there's like top level. Cyberpunk going crazy, etc. And then you have the Warlords and the Sorceries and the One Piece.
Stick to the bit, man. Stick to the bit.
Anywho, it's noisy, and then the question you kind of come back to, and this was sort of where we concluded last time, is it enough to just make a phenomenal game or not? And that's the topic we're going to get into, because there's a lot of noise and a lot of things you can do, and you can go to Gen Con or you cannot. You can have booths and you can have serialized cards or not, and you can do collector and you can do Kickstarter or not, and you can get a license and you can, etc.
But blast ads everywhere.
At the end of the day, where does this lead us, right?
Is the game fun? I don't know. Is it unique?
Does
it interesting?
Matter?
Does it even matter?
Do people even play Pokemon anymore?
I don't know. Anyway,
more of that. Before we get to that news,
at 10.
Let's hit the news.
Pal World too. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I saw a pre-ad for a Harry Potter game that's going to be coming out, and I don't want to say it, but I will. I was right. I called this
you were
crazy. It was like, okay, there's going to be a bunch of Kickstarter games, and then a couple years from now, all the IP big corporate games are going to start showing up, because Spreadsheet says yes. This is a way to make a lot of money with an IP. And then
yep.
Yeah. And on top of all that noise, you have Magic releasing a set every literally 6 to 8 weeks, not even hyperbolically, and throwing in the Marvel and Lord of the Rings and who all knows what.
The Marvel.
As they do.
Throwing in the Marvel.
On and on it goes. Meanwhile, we also get, in the same noise, D&D Star Wars is a thing, which is fascinating, because Wizards, who makes and owns D&D, at one point made a Star Wars RPG straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're just seemingly applying their Magic model to D&D, which is big IP into system, ship it.
The best way to think about it is like they've deconstructed the reality of what they're actually offering, and all of the lore and theming and art in the process is fully transplantable, so that can all change. None of that actually is tied to what Magic is or what D&D is. What they're realizing, or have realized, is that there's a system of mechanics that people are very familiar with, and we'll just throw literally anything at those mechanics, and because people are familiar with those mechanics, they will easily buy anything they're interested in that has those mechanics on them. And honestly, not a bad shot at all. Not a terrible idea. If Magic had, and it probably couldn't have, but actually Nunsuch and I were talking about this on Discord. If they had come out and said, hey, this is Magic the Gathering 1994-95. We're designing a system where you can use trading cards to play a game, and it is about drawing cards and playing down resources and playing things to the field that then attack and try to do damage to your opponent. And we're going to use that to play through any and every IP that we can find in the comic book space, in the video game space, whatever. And it's going to be this awesome way to use your trading cards to actually battle. And they kind of tried to copyright that system, and then basically threw all these IPs on it. Nobody would have an issue with what's going on right now. The Universes Beyond thing was really just about, we thought we had 20 years of world building that mattered, and then you just threw, Elmo at it or whatever. So I think it's not strictly a wrong decision, but again, with D&D, it's the same way. It's like, I don't feel like D&D has thematic roots at all. I never have, because the game of D&D is do whatever you want. Here's a system. Use your imagination. Mm-hmm. And if my imagination is now Star Wars, that's fine. We were doing that anyway. We were playing weird versions of D&D for 1,000 years. So it's way less weird than Magic, which to me felt like you were selling a universe and a world as much as you were a mechanical set. And D&D has never felt like that because they kind of always said it's your imagination is the world.
Do what you
The
want.
mechanical set is what
Now
we're
you just have a
building.
rule set for lightsabers in the Force.
Yeah, so it's weird that it came the other direction, honestly. But
Yeah.
I guess one of them makes you bajillions of dollars, and one of
Yeah.
them is
If-
just a book. So
If that line keeps going up and to the right, that very public
thanks.
corporation is going to keep doing that thing
yeah, of course.
because their number one goal, shareholder value.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny though?
Funny is a word. I was in college in the 2000s,
Wow.
and that
Was the Stegosaurus around then too?
yeah, it was. I was in the college. But back then, it was like
Studied rocks.
It's like the Jack Welch GE style of corporate governance, where that was the very normal thing you would read about, which is the goal of a corporation is shareholder value.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I feel like that is actually getting retracted at large in that community, which is cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
on that note, let's go to the news.
Let's cover the news.
First up, and in no particular order, we have Flesh and Blood, the TCG. The Warrior Mastery Pack is shipping this week, Friday release.
I heard it was shipping today, but don't tell anybody.
Today is Wednesday. That would make sense.
Okay, good. You can tell them.
Yeah, did it. That's really it. Flesh and Blood also Usurp the Shadow Throne is available for pre-order, and that is the set that has the new Shadow version of Viscerai. So I'm not saying I'm looking.
But get those pre-orders in before Zach buys it all.
There is a cap. I can only buy so many.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Warlord. Talking about Gen Con. I saw updates coming all weekend from Warlord, which is cool. They were previewing some stuff. That's what the first Medusan Lords.
Yeah, totally.
And that's the first real implementation of that whole system. I think it took 14 or it was either 14 or 17 games. And someone actually did beat the Medusan Lord.
Wow.
At Gen
Really?
Con. Yeah. Which is crazy.
It's unexpected.
Yeah, and Medusan Lords are supposed to be almost impossible. And if a Medusan Lord wins 100 in a row, they retire, and no one ever gets to defeat it. If they get defeated, it has big lore implications, and that Medusan Lord is gone, and no one can play against it, presumably ever again. I guess not ever again, because the original person and whoever beat them get a copy of that card. That's at a big tournament, and turns out the axe is really good. Everyone talks about the axe.
Yeah.
I like
Just like everyone talks about the ring and sorcery, and you
Yeah.
talked about the one card in Star Wars.
It is a little
Saga.
different. So like the character that ended up winning was Mare, which apparently was not surprising. Ranged. But
always good.
one of the characters that was notable in the top 8 that I saw, I think a couple people were on it, was one of the draft characters for what's the Deveranian Empire, the Red faction. It's just the draft character where at the start of the game you get to choose what class you're in, and you choose the class that lets you play the axe. But basically, it's there to be that faction with the ability to use the axe. And I think it was 2 or 3 of the top 8 decks were that character.
I love that.
Which is amazing.
I love that though.
Yeah,
like, that's that level of weird card game innovation.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that takes spell singer. Like it's that kind of like I don't know. Maybe these characters are also valid.
Maybe it makes sense.
But yeah, super good. But like, okay, what now? What do you do? Does it matter at all? You just release a second set. That's what you do. Release a second set. Don't wring your hands about it.
So
Just
this is an entirely different topic, and maybe we'll write this down for us to have on a future episode of the show. But the idea of there is a card, there's an axe, and there are a lot of people that think it's very good, and the internet complains, right?
Yeah.
There's some number of people on the internet that are loud about it. I think that the short conclusion for me on this is anytime you have a card game where there is a card of a type, the problem to me would be if it's so good, you aren't even considering options in that slot ever. And I feel this way because I actually really like the sword, which there's a case to be made that you could run instead of that, but you really don't run both. And if you end up in a box where the first thing you release in the first set is just the thing that's always going to be playable.
Yeah.
But they've also announced essentially their rotation. We talked about that a little bit last week. They're doing blocks of 3 sets. First set's kind of the main set. The second 2 are more supplemental to the first set. and only 2 blocks at a time are legal. So eventually it'll take care of itself,
That's true.
which is the beauty of rotation. So anywho, I don't know. I don't know enough about high level Warlord to understand if I think it's a problem or not. As far as my playing of Warlord is unaffected.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm still on the sword. Don't care about the axe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
here
fine.
we are. All right, Arkham Marvel. More updates. We still have Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, hero packs coming out soon. Charges are going to be happening for that, I think, next week, and then release date's August 21st. So we'll ship those like normal, like clockwork. We've been doing that for 7 years with Marvel. Isn't that crazy?
It's insane. Yeah.
Anyways, similar
insane.
Arkham Horror releasing on August 14th, so we'll ship that a few days ahead of release to try to get it to everyone by the release date.
Children of
Arkham
Blood.
is now on, what year are we in? 26?
I don't know. I just get to
10
watch
years.
Zach remember things.
It's 10 years ago. This Gen Con, we would have been
One
demoing that for the
decade?
first time.
That was a great demo.
That was.
That was one of the greatest demos we've
so
ever
good.
received.
Still on our YouTube.
Yeah.
Really great.
And then that's funny, like it was such a great demo. And then there were a number of other demos, over the years that we recorded. And it's like we eventually got to the point where like maybe we shouldn't like bank all of our like video productivity and success on random demo or at the random demo table for FFG on any given Gen
At
Con.
9 a.m. on a Thursday at Gen Con.
Yeah.
It's like she happened to be amazing, but like you can't. It's like we just need the game, so we can just do it and
Yeah.
not rely on somebody else.
Yeah, and ideally in a studio.
Yeah,
Which
and
we
some
know
people get really
most of
nervous,
you.
obviously too, and that's kind of
It's a lot of
That's a
pressure
good
to be on
point.
camera.
really.
Period. Yeah. Maybe you can't tell. We're sweating it.
I was
have-
talking about giving
Go
the
watch
Earth
some
a
of the early
haircut.
stuff.
I have always thought your secret ability, if you ever get to the top tables in like a game, is your comfort on camera.
Mm.
That's got to give you an edge, right?
Well, the first part is the issue, isn't it?
You got to get to that moment. Oh, that's
the
so
issue is Zach's running the
funny.
sword. That's the
Zach's running
actual
the sword.
issue with
Yeah.
all of this is
Yeah.
that Zach's not running the axe.
I think we learned that actually, legitimately, on our trip to New Zealand,
yeah, we did.
where we were playing with a bunch of decks that we didn't touch, other than when it was time to play. It's like, here's a deck. I would actually be curious to have, especially you, just play in a tournament where someone just hands you a deck.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I'd be unstoppable. Couldn't be contained, Jonathan.
Hey, check this out.
Couldn't be contained.
OKC fan, first time catching the show live. Currently been doing huge home improvement projects all summer, and have been listening to all the old Arkham COVID live streams. Tony
We
Zeros.
played through those Arkham campaigns. Seriously, that was a fun time. And Marvel, the Ultron 18 heroic stuff.
Those pandemic streams, especially Arkham for me, are some of the best
Mm-hmm.
experiences playing games I've probably had.
Mm-hmm.
That was just so. I remember that train one that we were doing. I won't spoil it because now
it's
he's
awesome.
going through it. Same with it was Tony Zeros, and the other one was Joe Diamond early.
Yeah, Joey Diamond. Yeah.
And you were on. What was the musician you were doing?
It's one of my favorite. Jim Culver.
There it
That was
is.
with the skulls where you pulled the
Oh,
skulls,
yeah,
and I had like
yeah.
the whole thing mathed out, super heavy, and I did that write up on Arkham TV and stuff.
That was wild time.
Yeah, that was great. What's crazy is we went to New Zealand. We talked about that last week, but this is just a cool kind of community bonding reality, I think, where it's like, if you didn't know, which nobody should have known this, but like we talked to Mike at Air Curiosa, who's in New Zealand, and he and a bunch of guys at Battlefront, and they're the company that was working on like Dust Tactics and what was that, Flames of War was the big one there that they did, I think.
Here,
That World War II game.
Yep.
But they were all watching the pandemic streams as well in New Zealand.
Well,
And
they were watching our X-wing stuff way back in the day.
all that and I know that you talked about the streams and stuff
pandemic
too,
stuff,
and
yeah.
Daryl was as well. And so it's like all across the world, everybody was just like a weird, small but like immersive, immense group of people were watching all of that at the same time in the same moment on planet Earth.
Going through a very shared thing.
Yeah, it was like it is actually pretty profound to think about how far that all went within this like small community. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Really cool. Next up, we have Alpha Clash. And
That's me.
well, not quite. Oh, yes, in a second. Hold on. There he is. He's back. I like he showed his own confused face.
every time Jonathan's shot comes up, he's just
Oh
confusion.
man. Okay, well
Just
we're just gonna
confusion.
start here. So we talked about some Alpha Clash cards last week, and then I got off stream, and then Ryan Roper messaged me, and he was like, "Hey, this is what this word means. We've
Oh, what all
announced
the
that.
words mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, I probably should have looked into that before we just got on camera. Being on camera is hard. Being on camera is hard. It's hard. That's very funny. Anyways, this is our Alt-Art exclusive promo coming with Nexus of Power, which is the next set of Alpha Clash. They have a big spoiler post where you can find all the stuff that's been previewed so far and links to various content creators and stuff. But this is our Alt-Art exclusive promo coming with each box. And I thought this was really interesting. We didn't know what Conquer meant.
Mm-hmm. What was your guess? Did you have a guess?
I thought I was stuck on it being similar to Victory, where you like kill something or defeat something with the card that this is attached to.
Are they at the point now where they have the little book of keywords yet?
Not quite.
I feel like it's getting close.
We're getting there. I also one thing I realized last week, which is part of why I didn't really dive into it, is that there's text missing on the bottom here. I'm not sure if that's an intentional tease from Ridge and crew.
Yeah.
But I'm
ready this.
No. Even it's like in the bottom where there's like on the left and right where it would tell you it's like a contender weapon or a weapon or that kind of thing.
Understood.
And I'm basically 100% sure this is a contender weapon for Doomcaster. He's one of the characters, and he's the character in the art. But that's really beside the point.
Is it though?
It is connected to the point, which would mean it's beside of it. It's next to, adjacent. Anyways, so Conquer. Did you have speculation on what you thought Conquer was?
I can't remember. I think it had to do with maybe banishing from the discard pile or something like that.
So Conquer is actually so painfully simple.
Okay.
It is active if you have a Clash Ground in play. There can only be one Clash Ground in play.
Got it.
Which, from like a conquering land perspective, a Clash Ground
so
makes
you
sense.
have conquered the battlefield.
Yes, and this is a contender attachment. So you have to pay 2 reds, but if you have a Clash Ground in play, it's reduced by 1 red resource.
Love it.
So then it's just 2
easy.
cost. The attached card gets +1 attack, which for a contender is amazing. And we'll show Doomcaster in a second. And engage, if this is attached, distract target opposing Clash card. So you can basically just, on your turn, tap this as a once per turn engage action. Distract something. If something's distracted, they can't block this turn.
Right. But they're not tapped.
They're not tapped.
They just can't block.
Got
it.
And then it has counter attack engage. So you can either engage it on your turn or on your opponent's turn if they attack. The attached card gets +2 attack till the end of the clash. Conquer, if this is attached, distract the attacking clash card.
You guys can't see that. I got it.
Like, what is happening?
I get it. I understand.
And trailing off.
Yeah. So, anyways, the main point of this is you can potentially, if you can pull Doomcaster up, and it says at the end of the turn, Conquer ready this. So if you have a Clash Ground to play, it just readies at the end of your turn.
Wow, yeah.
And it gives +1 by default, but then possibly +2 extra. And his whole thing.
Hey, that's some cool looking character there. I would play that. That's cool. Water stuff.
Yeah. But he's red. How about that? So he has a trigger portal. So when the portal gets activated, he can distract a card that you don't control. So you could potentially make it where they can't block with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he also has action Conquer. So you can take this action if you have a Clash Ground in play. You can activate the portal.
Yeah.
Which then is triggering all these things to happen. And then his final thing here, when an opposing Clash card that was distracted this turn is defeated, put it on the bottom of its owner's deck. And that's not actually really relevant. To get to the relevant thing, at 20 life or less...
it could be. You got things that play things in the discard pile, or you got things that,
Yeah, well, even his next ability says, when an opposing Clash card is put on the bottom of its owner's deck from play, for the first time each round, you may draw a card. So it becomes relevant once you're at 20 life or less.
Well, you're working real hard for the card draw with this one.
It passes my litmus test of a contender. Somewhere on that card, it needs to say draw a card.
But wait, are we still, tell me from your Des Moines experience, are we still in a world where you basically go from 30 to 0 all at once? Or do you get to 20 and then get to play the game for many turns?
You definitely get to go to 20. I think this was something they learned in the development design process. A lot of the original secondary abilities activated at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is super feasible to take someone from 10 to 15 to 0. It is way harder to take someone from 20 to 0.
Okay.
So it's very common in these 20 abilities to actually have them work, if that makes sense. So I think this will definitely happen. He's got this weird thing. If he gets that contender attachment, he becomes a 2+ attack. And he's going to start swinging. You can't block him.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
cool.
Off to the races. So,
good.
Anyways, learned what that actually did.
Second cycle, I think Alpha Clash is one of the coolest card games that no one in my area plays. Tell that local store that's around if they're your source of play. It's unfulfilled.
Check
They
out
can buy it
Fulfilled.
and hang it out, etc. Go do it. And then also, Pangram Games correctly calling out we're really getting into Yu-Gi-Oh levels of amount of card text.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's funny. In Des Moines a couple weeks ago, I played as Torque,
Mm-hmm.
who was one of the original contenders. And if it were just up to me, the way Torque, I would make some changes in his design. But at the same time, like I liked that style a lot better than now.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually talked with Ryan, who's been doing a lot of work to like essentially remove text from cards and standardize and templatize and stuff. But one of the challenges he was talking about in the design development side is effectively the less. It was twofold. I started out by saying this. He was asking me how I felt about these new contenders. And I was like, well, it's a lot of text.
Mm-hmm.
And like Torque has nowhere near. It's basically like tap, do damage to something.
Right.
That's Torque's
Right.
text.
Right.
And then you never get the second text.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that's what he does. But one of the things that they were running up against, which is interesting, you asked about the Warlord Axe thing earlier, is the less text they put on a contender and the less specific it is, the less it feels like that contender when you're playing it from a deck building construction perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Torque, as an example, can just be a generic deck all the time.
Right.
And so
Right.
if all of the stuff were that simple, and I get it to a certain degree, like it's a fine balance. And that's where when you see someone like Sorcery doing it, where they have so many different avatars,
Mm-hmm.
and the abilities actually are so simple,
Yeah.
and they do somehow make those contenders feel like those contenders without a lot of text.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing to witness that actually happening.
Yeah, I think for Sorcery the thing is that to Ryan's point, the rest of the deck composition in Sorcery is often unchanged.
That's right.
Like I think Alpha Clash relies on the deck itself to bring out that contender's personality.
Yeah.
Whereas with Sorcery, it's like I could swap a Necromancer into this one and then swap it, and the Necromancer feels like a Necromancer. It's raising skeletons, but it doesn't actually need to interact very much with the deck of cards itself. Some of them do, but a lot of them do not.
But it's very much like you're playing a fire air deck
Mm-hmm.
with this contender.
Yes.
And the contender still feels like that contender
Oh, very much.
or the avatar, but at
Yeah.
the same time, the deck is going to be very similar either
Mhm.
way. And so how far you push and pull on that. But in this case, I think about like Hamilton won the last event with Cadaveros, and he's the like mad scientist who's resurrecting all these like demons basically.
Yeah.
And per his abilities, and he has a lot of text on it, but it forces 70-80% of the deck to be thematic.
Yeah.
Which then when you're playing it, it feels like he's resurrecting all these like demons from the
Mhm.
discard pile kind of a thing.
If I were to go back and if Alpha Clash to go back and redesign, they should just do like signature cards. So like you choose a contender and you get 10 cards that must be in your deck, and that's the way to do it,
There
right?
it
Like Conquest kind of solved a lot of this, where you need very iconic feelings about your warlords leaders.
I mean, one of the interesting thing about that is like you see the alpha symbol on the bottom right of Doomcaster here, and like you could also simply say like half your clash cards have to match that symbol.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, technically I could run alphas that don't have anything to do with Doomcaster,
Mhm.
but you're at least, anyways. There's ways to attack that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is. That was my number one. Just they previewed at the event all the contenders from the new set coming, and it's like when I actually there's a gap between reading it and understanding it for me.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
actually
probably for everybody.
It's actually, but it's very true of Alpha Clash for me. It's
Mhm.
like it just takes me a minute to digest what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I really can't say anything, but if I can say anything, it's just that is very true here, which is like you guys revealed all these things, and I'm still not quite sure what they do.
Yeah. But you're the kind of guy that needs to play them, get them on the table and play them.
That's
get
a
some reps in.
me reality. So, anyways,
there's a branch of card games that is the white text with black shadow card games, right?
Mhm.
That's like
I think so.
well,
like tiny text, white, and because I know the guys came from like Dragon Ball, I believe, right?
Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah. So when
It's the Asia style.
when the text
template.
started getting more dense on Alpha Clash, I remember talking to Ridge about this, and then after that, I just went and looked
Mhm.
at even Magic cards now and Dragon Ball Super and stuff, and it's like by comparison, this is actually really clean,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But like if you've been spending much time playing Sorcery as an example, where it's like one sentence kind of halfway defined, and
Mhm.
like you're just using your instinct on like how it should work. It hits where it's like, oh man, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the key thing there is that you have to get into this weird stuff whenever you make the card treatments insane. So like you're gonna have to find text that can work over literally a color image, which that just removes all of your options. Now, we ran into this when we we're designing anything, graphic design, etc. It's like the moment, even the hero banners, once you open up the fact that there might be just any color back here,
Yeah.
then it's like, oh well, the only thing that works against any color mostly is white, and then
With a
but you
shadow.
can't see it, and so now you need to define the white against the background.
Yeah.
But what's crazy, so sorcery, for instance, to that example, they stay in their same template universally. Their foils, their non-foils is all the exact same template, and they utilize the back of the card to show off all of the art, which I think is a genius system. Magic used to just be in a template, and then so the text was always the same because you had a blank box.
Yeah.
Cool. But then you remove the blank box and you add art, and now we've got to make things crazy. And Pokemon does this to the extreme. Some of those Pokemon cards are insane. But honestly, what it signals to me a lot of the time, unfortunately, is that this isn't really about reading the card to play the game with. This is about a full art thing that is valuable. Like it doesn't even it's not meant to hit the table. So it's kind of like a weird shift in early card game templating thought, which is like people need to be able to easily read and understand this card so they can play the game with it. To now just like the text probably doesn't actually matter. It's there sometimes as like a, hey, we did put text here. You can use it, but also this is going in a binder and a slab, whatever, and you're going to go sell it at your card show.
Well, I also think, and this kind of started coming out when we played the old school Magic with Eric. He was talking about how iconic the cards are, and then he pointed out how you basically can't read the titles of the cards because of the templating on their old school stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, you actually can't. But I absolutely knew that was a Black Lotus, as an example.
Yeah, good example.
Whatever the card
probably
is,
an
right?
easy example.
Even the Sarah Angel, right? The Sarah Angel. It's like once you play it and you know what it is. And that's what I mean by the gap in Alpha Clash, at least for me sometimes on the understanding is that's the Angel example. It's like, this is a 4/4 flyer. Okay. Comprehended. But even right now, having just read it, it's like, tell me what Doomcaster does. And it's like, I remember he draws a card if you put something on the bottom of the deck, but I really don't know how to get him on the bottom of the deck.
If you destroy something, that's,
but
goes to the
but to and this is this will eventually get into our real discussion about.
We're not doing that now.
No, this isn't the real.
What are we doing?
But this is the news. We're still in the news.
We're still in the news.
But there is an interesting dynamic that I feel in Alpha Clash where it's like there is this like hurdle you have to get over, and then you get to the event, and by the event, I'm not reading cards at all.
Right.
And especially not my cards. And most of the cards my opponents are playing.
Definitely not your opponent's cards.
It's like,
it does what?
Yeah.
How many stealth credits do you have, Kindle?
Well, and literally, like when you're playing, it's one of the beautiful things about tabletop is like, if you put Doomcaster on the table, actually at a tournament in Alpha Clash, I would say, what does he do? And I'm going to get your version of it.
But I'm going to trust you.
And I'm going to trust it. But like, that's fine. But there is just like it's this push and pull on a lot of different layers. And it's more nuanced. Like, a year ago, I just said there's too much text on cards. And then it's like, well, at the same time, there's elements of this. And there's even like a hurdles almost being good sometimes. Where it's like you earn it. It's like when we played Middle Earth CCG. It's like I really had to earn the ability to play that.
Speaking of Ryan.
And that was like a very fulfilling thing to do. So anyways.
Yeah.
I do. So question on that, to draw this out a little bit longer. How much of it do you think is things moving and being more interested in being tournament ready? Because sorcery is a good example of a card that's like super minimal text, but the codex is super substantial because they want to be able to litigate everything in a fair way.
I mean, I think it's part that, and you can see this in like Flesh and Blood cards where their text has also exponentially increased.
Yeah. Well, these are like set 20 for these guys.
Another problem Alpha Clash and Flesh and Blood both have is they don't have rotation. So to make cards interesting, you have two options, tall and wide. So to me, tall is power creep.
That's true.
When you don't have rotation.
Yeah.
Just make them better, and that's
so
what
a
you
5/5 flyer.
Yeah. Or a 5/5 flyer that also gets +1 if it's a death, if you have a death contender or whatever. Or you go wider, kind of what I just described is both, but it's like you start adding other things. And it's like, well, technically, both of these draw a card when you put something on the bottom of your opponent's deck. But this guy gets Clash Grounds for cheaper, and this guy gets this other thing. And so when you're not rotating, you end up expanding, right, in this other kind of way. And there's not a lot of room left, because if you look at the first set, there's just a 4/4. And you are absolutely, there's no, at this point, there's no way you're playing the 4/4 at all. So they kind of rotate. Except for the cards that are just staples from set 1. Here Comes the Boom, etc. But Here Comes the Boom is an amazing example of, I know exactly what it does, and it's one sentence, effectively.
Yeah. So how do you
whole topic
continually develop a game in a direction that doesn't end up like every game that we've ever revisited that's old, which is like it tacked on 17 rules and 15 different keywords over the course of its development? There are ways. In fact, there are ways.
That's the whole topic.
And the system itself has to be designed to handle that. Like, as an example, because we use Sorcery Loud as an example, if I just have my side of the board of cards that I can play down, and you have your side of the cards that you can play down, like Magic, our ability to interact and have creative kind of differences between our cards is a much smaller space than in a game like Sorcery, where I have a 3/3 and then I have a 3/3 with movement +1. And just the ability that there's a grid here means that movement axes is an entirely new thing that I can use to differentiate a card without just using more card text.
Yeah, because in Alpha Clash, by comparison, you play something on the table and it can attack and defend. It can't move.
Right.
So it's almost like Spoils did this by adding a speed stat, which is not quite the same as having a positional element. It's not as extreme, but
it's
is
another access.
It's another thing.
Yeah.
So that you can have a 4/4 with 2 speed, and a 4/4 with 3 speed, and a 4/4 with 4 speed, and those are all different cards.
Yeah.
And then you can technically have cards that are +5 strength only on a 2 speed.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so now there is a reason to run the 2 speed one, other than it just being worse than the other stuff. But you can kind of keep bolting on. I think it all comes back to the original design development of something, which is, did you give yourself a big enough box to design within? Particularly if you're going to choose not to do rotation. I think that is a key of that.
Yeah.
If all you're ever actually asking is how, like Warlord's example. Jonathan almost locked himself out of the studio.
Somehow, how did he bring that up? Exactly. How did he get a box in front of the door after he left?
It's a talent that he's got. It's like a Home Alone trick situation.
That's really.
But
the laws of physics don't even allow that to happen.
You know, you look at Warlord, and the design challenge, actually, if you're only ever going to have roughly 6 sets be legal, is how do we make this batch of 6 sets feel unique and different? And then you can actually, things rotate out, you can bring some stuff back. And it's the pairing of it. Same with Hub World doing their 4-set rotation thing, where it's like, that's a different design challenge.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we like this thing from 5 years ago, but thematically it needs to change a little bit to work now, and you get to do it, and it's like, oh, this is like the Sarah Angel from 1993, but different.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. Other thing on Alpha Clash news,
give yourself some axes, basically.
Let's see. They posted a teaser for what they are calling a video game, which I'm gonna be honest, drives me crazy.
Got him.
But but I'm wrong. It drives me crazy, but it is, for definitionally, if that's a word. Is that a word? By definition?
Passes.
By definition.
It is technically.
I think definitionally is a word in the sense that it conveys the meaning that you want it to convey. I think we all understand what it means.
This is golden rule.
Bill Shakespeare kind of stuff, you know?
He created Bill Shakespeare?
Yeah, he created all those words. He created the words, you know?
All the words are made up.
It's a living
system.
system.
All that to say, they tease that there's going to be a digital way to play the game.
Yes.
And to me, a digital card game is not a video game. But by the definition, I guess.
I suppose there's 2 words there you need to define. Video and game, and I think it would fit both.
It does, yeah. Funnily enough.
Checks out.
Anyways, Ridge and Garrett continuing to prove they're 2 of the craziest people in the industry. Like, they're wild, man. Don't tell them they can't do something, because they will just go do it.
Get in there and do it. Yeah.
All
Video
right.
game. But it's not like, like Avengers, like the video game where you're like playing as one of the heroes and you're shooting stuff across the screen.
Cheetos.
Yeah, Cheetos exclusively.
Iron Man Cheetos. You remember that? Anyways,
Absolutely.
Next up, we have Sorcery. They were also at Gen Con. They revealed last week or a couple weeks ago the Wolf promo card, which drives me nuts because I need to get a lot of those.
Yeah, but you won't.
I don't know. Anyways, they had two grand contests. That's what the money's for at Gen Con. One was limited, one was constructed. Seems like there were a ton of people playing in those events. I also saw rain was involved. Literally. Like it was raining from the ceiling.
Yeah, and it leaked.
I've been to a lot of Gen Cons and I have never witnessed.
Didn't they say they had a tornado or something?
They did. They had to like go underground or something.
It's been pretty weird to watch all of that move east. Honestly,
you're right.
For totally unknown and unknowable reasons.
Who could possibly figure that out?
Just random. But yes, there was water. I didn't get the scoop on it really.
Yeah.
David was pretty concerned about it.
How did water perform? Did you check
the water decks?
Yeah.
I saw there was an Avatar water deck that got 11th. And that was my dark horse for the Avatar of the Realm. And then I looked at it, and I still think the Jesse and I's version is as good. Like, it's pretty much the similar kind of deck. So, like...
I mean, it is Avatar water, so...
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a lot of options. But this deck was doing some of the things that I was drawn to and that Jesse convinced me to not do. So either he's right and I'm wrong. And on the deck building side, I'm inclined to believe that's true. Or I'm right and he's wrong, in which case, when I lose, I will blame him fully.
That sounds like a win-win to me.
That's right. I
you either win the tournament,
those win-win situations,
and give him a light praise, but you get the most of it because you're the player.
No, yeah. If I win the tournament, it's all me.
Or you lose.
If I lose, it's all him.
It's all his fault. Yeah.
Did you see the pipe burst in the basement?
Yeah, Chronocore saying we did indeed have a lot of water from the ceiling and a pipe burst in the basement and started flooding that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, actually.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know Gen Con had a basement.
There's a basement?
You don't want to know.
It's kind of like...
where the rave is every day.
The rave is.
Well, I was going to say, it reminds me of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where he's like trying to find the basement of the Alamo that doesn't exist.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
Man, that is one of the creepiest scenes
creepy.
Absolutely imaginable. I can't believe I was allowed to watch that. Anyways, of all things, somehow, did the report of the meta from that tournament impact your Avatar of the Realm decision at all?
No, I'm bought in fully.
Top Battle Mage, which is my top Avatar right now, was like 39th. So that 39th with a 4-3 record, mind you. So it's okay, it is possible, and also no one is winning with this right now. So
that person could be at Avatar of the Realm, so you've got to be better than them at the thing that they're better than you at currently.
There's time. We have time.
We have time, and we're definitely using it to test
all the time.
I will say, it's obvious to me now, and Alpha knows this too. There are such simple things that you can do in a tournament setting to make the game so much more enjoyable for everybody. And one such thing is just reward people for playing the things that they want rather than the things they have to play to do well.
Yep.
And so seeing it was very minimal. I mean, from my perspective, it was cool, but like kind of minimal reward or upside for being the top performing avatar as compared to the foil avatar that you would get at Avatar of the Realm. It was like 3 of the sites that I think used to be dust sites or something like that. But anyway.
Yeah, so the top performing of each avatar at Gen Con.
Yeah,
they
got those sites. But like just doing anything like that I think we underestimate the number of players in any given card game who just want to play the cool thing that they enjoy. And they don't really care if they win the tournament or do well, but they want to make it high impact for what they're bringing and basically be known as the player who was really good at that one thing that nobody really thought was very good.
Like Cuts Cards bringing an all wolf deck.
Yeah. Yeah, the wolf deck is like a classic. It's built into the metagame as that deck, and then there's a million different avatars and a million different ways to play the game. And so you just let people bring the style of game that they want and tell them if they do good enough, they don't have to win and do great, but if they do good enough, they get a reward for that. If they're the best at that thing. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I think it really does a lot to improve the environment at an event.
It's like 20. It's not the number. It's not the actual number. There's like 20 different avatars represented, and you see that on the stats board, and it's just like amazing. And I know they had a ton of people, and everything was packed, etc. And of course, because they had such a good Gen Con, I scroll over sometimes to Reddit, Sorcery Reddit, to see what they have to say, or I go to the Discord sometimes. And I wish people would just stop complaining. I just completely.
You know, that actually, I saw
Just stop.
I saw chat
Like-
earlier when we were talking about Magic and D&D and Wizards and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mark Rosewater, which is lead designer on Magic, like
I've heard his name before.
They
Yeah,
have
he's
stats.
he's
I don't even know if that's.
It is-
Wait, no, Mike Rosewater.
No, it's Mark.
Mike
It's
Rosewater.
Mark.
There we go.
It's Mark Rosewater.
Yeah,
It's
saying
Mark Rosewater,
Worth noting
probably
that
the most famous
Mark-
designer of all time.
Mark-
He comes out and publishes these articles all
Mark
the time.
Rosewater has come out and said that only 7% of players identify as hating Universes Beyond. For Magic, where players love the system, there's a lot of flex about players.
No,
will accept.
what? No, that's
Well,
wrong. What
so-
it is anyone who has enough stupid time on their hands to take a dumb survey that nobody wants to take is going to report these results. But that's not. You cannot adequately actually survey any group of people, and especially the ones who don't like UV are not going to be the kind of people
My-
that fill out a freaking
My statistics
survey.
professor would disagree with you.
I just think you got to take this with such a massive grain
Well,
of salt.
I think it's probably not an accurate number, but I think it is accurately saying a few things that are interesting to me. And I feel this way. We talk about things that are popular and successful versus things that are good.
That is an awesome thing that we
yeah,
do say sometimes, like crazy, actually.
Well, but actually, as an example, it's more likely that something that most people find to be 7 out of 10, insert anything here, food, movies,
Yeah.
anything, would be more popular than something that half the people think are a 10 and half the people think are a 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing that's a 10 for half the people, or only 10% of the people, is only ever going to get that many people doing the thing.
That's right.
And so mathematically, that actually checks out, that you would have a bunch of like 6 to 8s actually being the most popular things
Mhm.
and never the 10. And I say that to say with Universe Beyond, maybe the number is 25% of people hate it, or maybe it's 1%.
It could be lower, yeah.
Or maybe it's whatever. But it's clear from the results that there are a lot of people that really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And more people enjoy it enough to buy it than people hate it enough to talk about it online.
Yeah,
Which then leads
sure.
to the next thing,
Sure.
which is if you're doing something that some people are going to love, I feel like it's more likely that some number of people will hate it.
Mhm.
But as a good example of this would be maybe in Alpha Clash, I'm like, this is too much text for me. I'm going to just keep playing Torque.
Yeah.
But some people, that is like perfect. It's what they want.
They want to crunch into that card
Yeah, in the
design
same
and
way with
stuff going on.
Sorcery, Avatar of the Realm, it's like some people don't, or I remember Alpha Clash did the bounties. There were some people
Mhm.
that were like, this is going to completely ruin the meta, and like the event cards are going to change everything, and it's not going to be, etc.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, everyone else still coming to the events loved it.
Yeah.
And so I say all that to say, because the internet is free and usable by everyone.
And apparently mainly bots.
Yeah, you were talking about people
A lot of
complaining
bots.
less, and it's like, well,
I would say usernames were complaining. I don't know that there's people actually.
the interesting part to me is I actually my working thesis here in the moment is on this particular topic. I actually think that if you're doing something that there's a large enough percentage of people that hate it to continually be negatively talking about it online, but also you continue being successful, that's like the sweet spot.
That is a great place to be, yeah.
Because you're doing something that has enough oomph and soul to it that some percent of people love it, some percent of people hate it. And the people that love it are just out there enjoying it.
That's right.
And then the people that hate it are on Reddit
Yeah.
and on Discord just complaining.
that's a critical clip. And the people who hate it are on Reddit.
on Reddit. But like if I would way rather have 10% of people just on Reddit upset all the time
Yeah.
and 90% of people that care enough and like are actually supporting it, then no one be upset.
Yeah,
Because if no one's upset, I'm gonna guess
Nobody cares.
No one is engaging with it at all.
That's right. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. No, yeah.
That's a real
don't-
funny way
So
of
maybe
saying
don't.
you're
So
right.
don't stop complaining. I guess. Yeah. Don't stop complaining. Not wrong. It's
Not wrong.
He's
I
not
use that
wrong.
that line with my wife a lot. All right, next up on the list. Hi, Serena. I do
Hold
love
on,
you.
hold on. I got this one right here.
Another Han. I absolutely love that Sorcery does it how it does it whenever it comes out.
Talking about the set.
It'll come out. Too much hype exhausts me. I love the element surprise. It kind of like being back in the night.
Yeah. Here's the news flash for everybody. Okay. I just rip the Band-Aid off here. Is that Eric Olofsson, wonderful man from Sweden originally,
Eric of Eric's Curiosity.
small village in Sweden.
Humble beginnings.
Eric loves Alpha Magic.
Wait, is this Eric the Hammer Olofsson?
That's right. That's right.
The Hammer himself.
So Eric loves old school Magic, and he loves old school 90s era stuff.
As we all do.
And he went through a massive project called Path of Exile, which most of the people still don't even know that this is the Eric Lawson that did Path of Exile is the guy doing Sorcery. We probably need to work on fixing that. A massive audience for Path of Exile. Went through all of this stuff. How much do we say? How much do we not say? The internet, Path of Exile players on the forums are complaining about this thing. They're not complaining about that thing. There's this thing that we're doing that's really annoying people, but then we remove it and it annoys even more people and all this kind of stuff. He's been through that whole thing. So through an giant experience of a massive video game where some group of people is always complaining about everything, and then going into Sorcery, wanting to recapture the feel of Alpha Magic, Beta Magic, etc., where nothing was announced, nothing was known, random things happened, you didn't know what you were getting, the element of surprise, discovery, all those things were actually a critical part of the experience. Not knowing the cards before all the sets came out, getting random cards that you'd never seen before the town over. All these kinds of things are extremely difficult to recreate in an internet age where we're all very connected and have all the information at our fingertips. And because we have that and the luxury of that, we get addicted to that idea that we should know everything all the time whenever we want and that they should announce everything and they should talk to us. It's like, it ain't going to happen. I don't know what to tell you. It's not ever going to happen.
I mean, we're
no matter how
5
much,
years deep into this Sorcery
no matter
project?
how much you say about it, no matter how much you say it's the right thing to do and that they're failing and that it's not going to work and that if they would just say X, Y, and Z, it would be better. And they should do it this way. They should do it that way. It ain't happening. It ain't changing. What Eric is going to do, he's going to find the old, awesome fantasy artists and some new fantasy artists that have a lot of incredible kind of nostalgia for him in these early days of Magic and a lot of incredible skill at creating a certain aesthetic. He's going to get hundreds and hundreds of paintings commissioned from these people. He's going to direct that entire process to make sure that the art that comes back to him is the art that he envisions roughly for the game and each individual card that's printed. He's going to take all of these paintings shipped from around the world to New Zealand, and they're going to take high definition pictures of them. And then they're going to put that into a computer, and they're going to make that into a card, and they're going to print those cards, and they're going to put them in the most beautiful booster boxes that we have yet seen, incredible packaging, booster packs, beautiful collation, foils, curios, etc. They're going to ship those cards to the destinations, and they're going to be available for sale. And it ain't changing. And the timeline is immaterial. And it doesn't matter because sometimes you have 10, 20 paintings that aren't back yet. And so you wait because it's real art. It's actual artists on the canvas doing the thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not inspired. And sometimes they get cranky. And sometimes they're moody.
The trouble with real art is the people.
It's the people. You don't. When's the last time you said, yes, this amazing artist who is easy to work with, on time? You know what I mean? Like this is not
accurate at projecting how long their work is going to
It's
take.
not how this happens. So you're either here for it or you're not. If you're not here for it, go find any of the other 17,000 TCGs that will tell you everything they're doing. They'll have a spoiler season where every card is revealed, and you'll be able to open a pack every 3 months. You get a new set, and you go do it. Like that's probably for you. But Sorcery is for all of us who love what's happening. We love it. I want more of it. I haven't even cracked it. I've got 2 Gothic boxes I haven't opened yet.
Yeah,
I'm
me
still
too.
seeing cards in Gothic I've never seen before. And you know what? I love that.
Yeah.
I don't feel a rush. I don't feel any kind of pressure. I don't feel like I'm missing out.
It is this really strange, off the back of like 30 years of playing card games at this point, and the evolution of that through both my life and just card games in general. The complete lack of pressure I feel to engage with Sorcery, and yet the joy I have every time I do.
I just look forward to it.
Yeah, and it reminds me so much of some modern shows are choosing to only have one episode go up a week.
Yeah.
Even though all of them are ready and they could just hit publish and have the whole season, you could binge it and do the whole Netflix thing. And I really enjoy it when they just force you to take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that that's necessarily even why this is happening, but yes, it sounds like people are complaining about not knowing next set release.
I mean,
date,
that's been from day one. Print more sets. Tell us what's happening. When is this going to be? When is that going to be?
This goes back to my point of things
just
people
like,
love and hate.
You don't get to know that.
There are some people right now, if Eric Curiosa came out and said, hey, we're actually going to do 3 sets a year, they would be so thrilled.
Yeah.
I would be devastated.
Yeah.
Like that is not
That's
what
the
I
end
want
of the game
out
for
of
me.
Sorcery at all. Like I can't tell you how much I would hate it. So, and that's the trouble with the internet is it's this weird thing where like you simultaneously need to listen to the people that are supporting you and love what you're doing, and also not listen to them.
Right.
Like you need to be able to hold both in place, because in that example, maybe you're like, oh, well, maybe we should really try to do 3 sets a year, and you do it. And then you lose 30% of your players and they all hate it. And the problem with that is that right now, all those players are here, not saying that much, and they're buying your product.
Mm-hmm.
And if they just leave, it's unlikely they're actually going to complain online about it. It's just going to be like, okay.
Especially for a game like Sorcery.
The quiet people now are going to just walk out, and there's no way to recover from it. So if you listen too much, but that comes back to you have to know what you're doing while you're doing it, and then just do it.
Yeah,
like
and just follow that vision. It's not a democratic process. Like this is not a you all get a vote because you optionally chose to spend your money on something.
This is like a pinata full of topics. This discussion we've
had.
Let's
beat it.
Well, it's like these could be whole episodes, because the thing I was just thinking is you were talking about, what's the line you just said about listening?
Don't listen. Listen
the right amount.
You said listen to some people. Don't listen to some people.
Then you followed up with that.
And I said beat it.
The Michael Jackson of our time.
I don't know what I said, Zach. I don't know what I'm saying half the time I'm talking to this microphone.
Yeah. I don't either hear what you're saying.
This is the craziest thing, man.
Yeah. Anyways, there's just like a pinata of topics that I could, like, I'm seeing breadcrumbs of a trail I could follow on everything that is being said right now. But I think that is where having that clarity of what you're even trying to offer is so important.
I was talking about the democratization of the process. Like you don't get a vote in the way that this product goes just because you optionally bought it.
That's the
like
thing
you're not a shareholder. Sorry, like you're not the board.
Is the problem with crowdfunding? Because I think you set the tone initially that makes it feel like that's true.
Well, it kind of was early on.
It is in crowdfunding, because you're backing a project and they're bringing you behind the curtain and they're letting you have all this information.
Your venture capital, baby.
Et cetera. And then it comes out and then it's totally different moving forward.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, we're not talking about anything. We're just doing our thing. We don't owe anybody anything. We'll make it when it's made. We'll put it out when it's out. And people will either like that or not. Which is different than give us your money to make this thing happen.
Right. That's a different. Yeah, that's true. So the transition can cause a lot of confusion and angst. I see that.
And I think a lot of people that would be drawn to the kind of transparency you get during a crowdfunding campaign are going to be a lot of your community early on if you crowdfund.
Yeah.
So, 1 + 1 = 6.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
I shouldn't put that one up.
Tim says,
oh no, Jonathan, I saw some keyword. I saw the keywords flash across the screen.
We gotta get to the end of the.
You're trying to get me fired up. I mean, I'm already on a. It's a short thread.
Please read the words on the card.
Tim says, my LGS said that unless Sorcery does 3 or 4 sets a year, they won't survive long term because no distro will pick them up. I don't know how true that is. Well, a few things about this. First of all, Sorcery is not going to do 3 or 4 sets a year. So whoever your store is, you should warn them that is.
We're 5 years in, guys. Like the game is here. Like what?
So 2.
What are you talking about?
I feel like I get it. We've been there, and we were partially there by choice, where we didn't want to sell Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. But I would definitely say have them check out Fulfilled. We have a bunch of indie games that would probably love to have a store that cares, supporting them. And then the other piece of that is
you don't need to. You get it Fulfilled on it.
I think if, as a local store, you're counting on Sorcery, which is a tiny indie tabletop gaming publisher who has said from the start that they're going to make one set a year, roughly. That's a bad plan. Don't do that.
Yeah, not a great idea. I wouldn't hitch your wagon to that.
Yeah.
But this idea that if they don't do 3 to 4 sets, the distro won't pick them up. It's like, okay, distro, okay. I mean, put your chips where you want to put them. If you don't believe in the game, then don't sell it. But other people will. We'll find a way. Because the thing is, to our topic, if the game is incredible, this is my thesis for the topic. If the game is incredible, which I believe Sorcery is a unicorn of a miracle in trading card games. Unbelievable.
It's a unicorn among unicorns.
All the way down. I mean, from top to bottom. approach, everything, top to bottom. If there's enough interest and demand for that kind of thing out there in the tabletop gaming audience, it will get there. If no distros pick it up, it will find a way to get there. Like, I guarantee you that if something is great enough, you will not stop it from succeeding, even if the standard model is not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Period.
So let me pause you for a second.
Okay.
I will do the last bit of news.
Okay.
And then
We
we will
also
springboard off of that. And
have a
Jonathan will
social
not
section.
distract us ever again.
We have a couple of fairly relevant questions to the topic. I want to get off the top. We got a little bit to go
Wow.
All right, let's just real quick. News related. Earthborne.
Are we structuring our podcast like one of these cards with a lot of text on it now?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be we'd come in here and we'd do a simple topic. We'd come in here, we'd talk about something. And then we add the news. You're adding keywords to this thing. And now we've got new things showing
The
up.
difference is no one has to read anything. They just hang out and listen to our sultry tones. Anyways, Earthborne announced that there's going to be an Earthborne
Suspect.
role-playing game.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's
and
obvious.
It's
like,
being done by Brotherwise Games.
which is the Cosmeres.
Yes, the Cosmeres. So Andrew Fisher, who works at Earthborne, did the Cosmere role-playing game with Brotherwise. And this is basically like a world book for Earthborne Rangers. It seems there was like a modification on that system. So it'd almost be the old FFG Star Wars system. They put a couple other things into it. So similar to Star Wars going into Dungeons and Dragons, kind of a vibe.
So you're saying that the Cosmere role-playing game is now launching Universes Beyond line, which is starting with Earthborne.
Well, actually, it's that Brotherwise had an underlying system that they put Cosmere on. And now they're using it in other ways, I believe.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Faith is the most powerful force on the planet.
It
Belief.
sounds that from what I was listening to in their newscast that it's, I don't want to say for legal reasons, an evolution of, but if you like the Genesis role-playing system, which Andrew Fisher was also really involved in, then you should like this system
So
and
it's
what it's doing.
a narrative dice-based role-playing experience.
And they're going to do it in the Earthborne world, so the combat's going to be almost non-existent. So I'm pretty interested to see how they pull all that off.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, that's the thing about Universes Beyond and Magic, all this. Like, we've been doing this forever. You take a base system, you do a little modification, it's a new game, you go and go.
Last bit of news before we get to the Covenant news.
Oh
is
my God.
Which is it segues into the Covenant news and it'll be quick. Hub World pre-order is now live on our website.
Oh, it's the best.
So late pledges are over.
This game, dude, the cards look so good now.
Late pledges are over. You can now pre-order it on our website. And there's a Q1 estimated shipping timeline.
I got legit excited about the game this week.
Dude,
That's crazy.
we have a kind of segue into Covenant news. We have an episode of Table Time with Hub World coming soon. And constructing those decks and playing those games, for me, building my first deck for a game is usually when it clicks or not.
Yeah.
In like a real way. That's how it happened in Destiny, etc. And that's when I started getting really stoked. But then you have this weird energy of like, I'm stoked and can go nowhere with this right now.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're about to go
True.
somewhere,
True.
Steven.
Did you is your that whole like kind of logical click-in process whenever you build decks, does that describe why I had the weirdest and worst pile of cards ever in that Table Time episode, would you say? Almost an unwinnable stack of green cards with the maybe worst seeker in the game. What did you find was expressed in your heart whenever you put that particular deck together?
What I did is I said I'm gonna go through every card in the game in this collection, and I'm gonna pick all the cards out that are Steven coded. And I put all those in a deck, and then you played it.
You can't see. This is the thing. This is the thing people misunderstand about me. You need 30% of the deck to be an unworkable Rube Goldberg machine, but the other 70% is hardline meta cards. So that's
the problem
that
is
keeps you
That's
online.
not supposed to happen.
Are we still live? Is anybody
we're
out
still
there?
Live. Hold on, we'll do a full Steven here.
Is anybody? Give him
the Steven.
Give him the full Steven.
So, first of all, there's not a meta for me to assess that from. I don't know what a meta card is.
Well, it's the cards that get you money.
I think your deck was tier 3.
Okay. So better than usual.
Yeah, but it's it's first 2 decks I've ever built, and that was one of them.
That's good stuff.
In Hub World, and it had a theme, and it was trying to do something, and then we learned.
Yeah, we learned a little bit,
and then we moved on.
Yeah.
So,
We
anyways,
moved on.
Hub World's coming.
And we're going to talk about Hub World in the main section because I got a lot to say about Hub World. God, Hub World is looking so good. Did you see that? You saw that that card that we posted in the email and the blog and stuff, where it's like that brown tone behind it. It's the Seeker.
Yeah,
dude.
I know.
And Andrew had a hand in the art on that.
When you start seeing all of the art,
yeah,
and all of the cards, and like the set we were working with on that Table Time episode, probably had like 30% art, and then a lot of filler space, and that was even enough to be like, I'm in this in a different sort of way.
Seeing that whole world on the table is going to be nuts.
It's coming.
It's going to be nuts. Ah, they're so talented. Oh, it's just frustrating, man. It's just frustrating. Actually, seeing all the Hub World stuff has made me really appreciate. I'm less of a what would you call me among many things. A stickler, I guess. I guess I was really riding the traditional art wave because of Sorcery,
Warlord.
but it wasn't necessarily. I mean, the traditional art does have an impact, but it was also just great artists doing their work, and I have seen that is what's happening also with Hub World. It is more of a digital approach, but it's miles above. I mean, you can have awful digital art, you can have incredible digital art, you can have awful traditional art, incredible digital art, etc., or traditional art, etc.
Well, I think it's
just about the passion, the meaning, the vision.
There's like a soul and a feeling to it,
and the art direction,
and it's just very strong. Yeah,
and the ability to have artists like express themselves in the work without having to so strictly follow your own art guidelines, but still being within world enough that it all works. That's something that we lost a lot of. I think things got really, really shiny there for a while, and like it must look the same as every card. Yeah, and then we're kind of there's some games that are busting out of that, and Sorcery and Hub World are big ones.
And they're busting out of it in ways that, at least for us, I haven't really experienced before. Like the style of Hub World is not a world I've been in.
No, it's
any
raw
game I've ever
creativity.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
All right, so news for Covenant. We have Table Time episodes coming this month. I'm just going to put it on the board for Hub World and Imagination, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So get your hearts ready for those.
Yeah.
And then other than that, we have some questions we'll get to because we got to get to the actual topic because then I've got to get to
it's 1:30
3.0 meetings. Yeah.
This topic is going to have to last like 20 minutes.
Yep. Which we
doing
pre-topicked a lot. Social segment, Jonathan.
Segment.
Segment. More news. So
can I hate this every time?
Yes.
Is that acceptable? Is that a part of the bit now?
Lindsay said it was cool.
It can be a part of your brand.
Lindsay's like, you can hate this literally every week.
So we hired Lindsay a few months ago, digital marketing specialist, and she's taking over our social media slowly but surely. So we're doing a social segment because
she's trying to do the job.
She's trying to do her job well. Yeah. And Steven is just absolutely insufferable.
I don't care about us being
so
successful. It's about my
now we have
feelings.
Jonathan in
I'm
audio. Jonathan is going to read us the
on
questions,
audio,
and we're going to answer them as socially medially acceptable as possible.
Question for the audience: do I genuinely look like I'm on a safari tour right now? I need to know that. I do look a little bit more tan than usual. I think it's from volleyball yesterday.
I was going to say I think it's your shirt.
The shirt is pretty like.
Yeah.
You know, like
is it breathable?
What's the the important guy, very awesome dude, died tragically.
The crocodile
Jesus?
hunter.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, welcome to Oklahoma, baby. Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior? And you said Crocodile Dundee. That's not true, right? You said the Crocodile Hunter.
More
The
right
Crocodile
than
Hunter.
Jesus.
Hey, wait a second.
That's your social
I'm
clip.
gonna be honest. If you play back the Steven clip, my answer is 100% a valid answer.
It is 100% a valid answer. That is 100% right. We've done our job.
It's
That
funny.
goes on social media.
It's funny, but
Everybody
it's also
laughs at it.
accurate.
In the 10-second time span that they get to ingest something with our faces on it, they'll
I
laugh.
hope you enjoyed that one.
Jack was the guy's name?
Steve Irwin.
Thank you, Steve Irwin. Yeah, very
Jack.
close. It's kind of a Steve Irwin style shirt, it seems to me to be.
Yeah.
All
like
that
I'm
came
like
from your shirt choice today.
yeah. I'm running a
Man.
zoo or something. I'm the guy that goes on late night and shows all the animals to David Letterman.
Oh yeah, that
It's
would
like-
be a great segment. Hey, get Lindsay on that. We can get an eagle in here.
We could get a freaking eagle. in
Give
here,
me a
dude.
zebra
And
stat.
just Zach going like being
Man,
uncomfortable.
Eagles are crazy. Actually,
Yeah, it's true.
that's a whole thing. Anyways,
Put
Jonathan,
that on the topic list for next time. Eagles are
crazy.
Eagles, crazy.
I
yes or
mean,
no?
that's the title of when we have the eagle coming in.
You see this thing? This thing is
Oh, my
crazy. So big.
goodness.
Big bird, actually.
How
Bigger
does
than
a
you
very
think.
large
How does
bird.
any of this work?
You ever seen an eagle?
I'm not sure it's working. I don't know. But that Earthborne video's got 1 million views on it. So
1 million.
congratulations, John.
1 million.
Yeah.
You did it.
Okay. Let's get serious. Think about TikTok. Think about
What?
it.
Think about TikTok. You do not want me to do that.
Don't warm me up with that.
Do not want me to do that.
Think about the reality that this needs to be clipped into less than 60 seconds. That's the answer.
TikTok, a 60-second video. That's like a freaking essay. That may as well
Yeah,
be a PhD at this
I'm pretty
point.
sure TikTok's down to 3
It's
seconds.
gonna be a doctorate. You're gonna have to defend your paper.
you
on
just want
60
the
seconds on
idea
TikTok.
of something someone's doing on a TikTok.
Yeah.
It's like,
flash
oh,
So
Uh,
imagine you
videos
have 2
and-
seconds to
It's like,
provide
I'm no longer-
non-value.
I'm no longer even going to watch you shoot the trick shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to watch you begin to shoot the trick shot, and that's enough for me. I get the dopamine, we move on. I know how it's going to go.
I want the basketball highlights like swoosh, 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 swoosh. It's like, this is crazy. Why are
Yeah.
we doing this?
Yeah, don't know.
Dopamine addiction is why. It's very degenerate and a real problem
It's a real
socially,
problem. Yeah.
societally.
Yeah.
The corporations found a way to hack our brains and keep us on
But
devices.
if you're here now, you don't have that problem because you're an hour and 40 minutes into
Whatever this is.
insanity.
That's right. The longest
Yeah.
TikTok ever, some would say.
So,
The dance of
the
swords, I
internet
guess.
wants to know, you can only play one tabletop game for the rest of your life. Which game are you picking?
Only play one tabletop game for the rest of your life. Is a deck of playing cards like a poker kind of answer? Is that an accept? Is that a tabletop game?
I would anything you can play on a table with physical components would be a tabletop game
It's
for me.
100% poker.
That is not what I expected.
It's
you
a
to
million
say.
games.
That's a
You get to
great
play
answer.
a million games with everybody. 1 million games you can play with a deck of cards in the poker category.
This is what my brain did.
This is horrible TikTok. Already it
is.
sucks. This is not. Wait, it's already. They've gone.
Well, you should have said
They're
a
out of
thing
here.
immediately. But I
okay,
think
hold
it's
on.
correct.
Set me
No.
up again. Set me up
All
again.
right. Okay. All right. Hold on.
We'll do it TikTok style.
You can only play one tabletop game for the rest of your life. Which game are you picking?
Poker.
Star Wars TCG. That was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Even though here's the
Clean
context Lindsay doesn't want. Even though
She's already turned it off.
I don't think it's my brain literally was like Star Wars TCG. Okay, maybe Netrunner. No. X-Wing. No. Destiny. And then it's like, what would I say? I have no idea.
Can we say that we recently filmed a Middle Earth card game episode?
Lord of the Rings TCG.
Lord of the Rings TCG.
Yeah.
Is that on the list?
The problem is, if I'm literally restricted to a game ever again,
Forever. I mean, think about
Forever,
that.
yeah.
that needs to not just be a game you love. It needs to be a game you could literally play 100 times a year forever.
Now, are we also living forever? Or is it until we die?
Rest of your life.
Rest of our
Your
life.
natural
Okay, that's
life,
a relief.
yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a bit different, maybe then.
I gave my answer.
Yeah.
I
once
could
you-
get. I mean, I could get a lifetime's worth of sorcery in, but I wouldn't want like 1 million years of sorcery.
I do think it's also challenging because right now Sorcery has 4 sets.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of just assuming that's what I'm stuck with,
Mm-hmm.
which was not clearly
Well,
spelled
here's-
out. in
here's the
thing.
deal.
Probably do
Yeah.
sorcery limited forever.
But people are still playing old school Magic
Right.
consistently.
Mhm.
We people.
We people, you people.
We did it.
But it's still active, right? So like,
Yeah.
clearly there's a lot of play, and I guess they maybe ban a card or another card or just
Yeah.
kind
I
of.
mean, there's
keep
a
it
ton
fresh
of
in that way,
old
but like, it
card
seems
games that still get played.
like you
for
don't
sure.
need that much to keep playing.
You can play any of these games
For a long
forever. The
time.
good ones.
Yeah.
Forever. Yeah. Like poker's good.
Poker's
Games like some of those old country games that we went like pitch and stuff.
I feel like if you can just pick a deck of playing cards,
That's crazy.
that is like
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
value.
Or like D&D has got to be the answer, right?
Oh, obviously.
It's got to be a role playing game. You could play that infinitely.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
can't take that away from you. That's
collaborative
just your brains.
storytelling.
I mean,
I might do GURPS instead.
GURPS, man.
all right, let's redo the question.
Every time GURPS comes up, people like to dog on GURPS,
Mm.
and those people just weren't able to use the system well.
That's right.
Because it's basically like dogging on a dictionary because you're
There's
trying
too
to
many words.
write a paper. There's a lot of words in GURPS. But if you want to do anything, you can find it.
You can do it.
You can do it. And the advantage-disadvantage thing was so awesome. You can make the most busted characters, the craziest things, like a disembodied head that has like a pet raptor. It was the best.
Sounds like it.
Great.
I will
the only
also
thing I've
say-
ever wanted, honestly.
I will also say, just to where your hot take last week of Diablo 2 being better than Diablo 3 had some
detractors.
interesting responses in the comments on YouTube, as you can imagine.
Yeah, well, that's why we shoot for the 10.
But that's the point.
Yeah, you
'Cause
got to
Diablo
have the
2 is a
detractors.
10 for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Diablo 3 is an 8 for some people and a 2 for others.
Well, yeah, and you just stick to. You got to have the opinion where there's a number of people that can agree with you completely, as you said. It's the Ryan Johnson thing about how episode 8 was so bad. And then you have to have people. Obviously, if something is great for some people, it will not be great for others.
That's right.
Because we're all very different and on a very wide spectrum.
Also, sometimes things are just bad, and everyone doesn't like them.
Yeah, and I don't think Diablo 3 wasn't bad, but compared to Diablo 2, it was not Diablo.
Well, it just lost. I have no.
You're
experience
speaking
of this,
out of your depth, but I would love to show you all of these games.
It sounds as though it traded in efficiency for soul, or like for
to what we were saying earlier. It took a 10 for a lot of people to a 7 for more people.
Yeah,
a lot more people.
Yep,
people who probably had not even played Diablo 1 or 2,
and that is
the story of
the story. Yeah, look
the world we live in,
the distance, and reconsider my entire life. All right,
Jonathan. Two more questions. One, you guys will get this. No problem.
What's up, man?
What separates a good game from a great game?
That's a no problem question. What? Man, here's my answer to that.
That's like an absolute social media response. That's incredible.
That's a whole episode. That's 5 hours of. Anyways,
am I fired now?
Here is
like
what
Tracy.
it is. I had someone ask me. They'd send us a game to check out, and this is the opposite of what Lindsay wants. But this is the answer.
Oh my god!
Someone sent a game, and we played it, and it was like not for us. And then later they reached out and they were like, "Hey, I'd just be curious. Would you be willing to talk to me so I could understand what you're looking for in a game?" And I was having that conversation with them, and it's like, this to me is the difference between good and great. And it's so difficult, and it's intangible, and that's the Diablo 2 versus 3 thing too, where the hard part of defining this is it's not quantitative. It's qualitative for me. And so when you play the game, there is either a spark there that brings you in and gets you and makes you feel something, or not. And great games have that, and have that for whoever it is that they're trying to connect with.
You kind of know it immediately.
You just know it. It hits. Like the moment I saw the box of Sorcery get posted, I remember Eric posted on Twitter, and I saw it, and I was like, how did I miss that old game when we were doing the throwbacks? And then I clicked onto the thing. It's like, that's not an old game. That's a now game. You can feel it immediately.
The same way I felt when I saw the Trailblazer map.
Yep.
It's like, okay, yeah, this is it. Yeah, they're there.
Yeah. So the difference between good to great for me is the spark that is almost impossible to measure or define.
Yeah, great. And that keeps it very beautifully subjective, the way we like it.
Sometimes the spark hits for others and not for you.
That's absolutely true.
Well,
you're not going to call it 100% of the time.
Is it true that there's a template of person who is fine with good and doesn't care about great? And there's a template of person, among many templates, that is obsessed with great and does not accept good?
I think this is measured in agreeableness. So I do think there are
agree noises.
Yeah, they agreed. I think there are highly agreeable people that are cool with an okay meal or an okay movie or okay friends. Or
I'll tell you exactly how you know this person, by the way. This is nothing against this person, because most of my friends are like this. Hey, I saw the new Star Wars movie. It was fun. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing it then. Like, I got a million fun things to do. I want to be moved by something.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You need to come to me and say, that was the most profound experience I have ever had in my life. You cannot miss it.
Well, and then we're talking about the spark, right? Like, that's ultimately where I got with Star Wars, which is the spark is gone. But at this point, especially Star Wars books, which I used to read a lot of, I'm not even thinking about reading them unless at least two people in my life, I'm around a lot of Star Wars heads, at least 2 people not only say it was great, but are like trying to convince me to read it.
Yeah.
Like the way my brother relentlessly pitches Brandon Sanderson on me.
I know the brother you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if 2 people are doing that for me about something related to Star Wars, I will engage with it. Otherwise, it's out.
Yeah.
Just not even touching it.
Like I want that Andor level, like people shaking me and saying like, this is, you have to watch this. This is the most incredible thing that's happened to Star Wars in a long time.
Yeah.
That's much better than like, I saw that new, what was the newest one? The Mandalorian goes shopping or whatever.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu. And it's like, yeah, I saw that was enjoyable. Yeah. It's like, I just don't care about that. Enjoyability is like the lowest possible bar for anything I'm going to spend time on entertainment doing.
The funny thing about that, which is now available on streaming, unpaid ad, is what it sounded like.
Checking
The thing about that is, I know you really liked the first season of Mandalorian.
Yes.
And to me, if that movie had come out after the first season of Mandalorian, the conversation around it would have been just as like that. It feels more like that than the rest of Mandalorian. It feels like a movie that came out 5 years after it should have came out.
Nice.
Which is fascinating. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Okay. You have another one for us, Jonathan?
Well, yeah.
He's so excited about it.
It just says, and I quote.
Oh my God, he's quoting it. He must not believe in the question.
Give me your tabletop games hot take.
Hot take.
Just period.
Exclamation point.
In general, I thought that we were a hot take factory. I mean, the whole thing is hot because we're now old and cranky and tired, and we've done a lot, and we've seen a lot of games. We've seen everything.
Tell me this: what is something that you don't expect to happen in the next 5 or 10 years in tabletop, but would just make your day if you saw it happen?
I think the best thing that can happen for tabletop and or the world is for the entire internet communication ecosystem to fail completely.
Yes,
I think it is possible that it happens. I've said this from the start to you and Jonathan and anyone who would listen. Is it seems very clear to me that the direction we're going means that we'll not be able to believe that anything we're reading or seeing online is real. And when you get into a world where nothing can be trusted, every comment you read could be a bot that's paid for by some corpo, whatever. Every video you see could be an AI generated, whatever. Every presidential speech you watch could be totally created and fabricated by the opposition. At that point, you have no choice but to re-engage exclusively with physical reality as your source of truth. And if we were to be forced to do that, I think it would be the most profound thing to happen to the human race in an exceedingly long time. Maybe the creation of fire. I mean, like it would be such a pivotal moment in our journey. So there are good things the internet does, like the ability to move data across long distances very quickly can be very valuable.
Like through YouTube.
Yeah, or like sending a medical record from here to there. Those kinds of things I think should continue. But like just the raw human communication via digital platform broadly from one to many, completely going down and losing all confidence, it would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't put it as poetically as that, but somehow humanity find a way to put their phones down would be awesome.
Yeah.
and that may be a domino in that, right?
It would be.
Like, well, we just need to get off the internet because this is clearly not it.
It would be. I mean, the internet at that point becomes a reality TV show because everybody watches reality TV knowing underground that it is not real at all, that it's very scripted and that the situations are cut together in very obvious ways. But we believe in the narrative because that's what creates the drama for us, and that's an exciting thing to do. But at the end of the day, we know it's not real. And I think the internet right now is that, but we think it's real still.
Yeah.
And so approaching it as a reality TV show, I think, is the next phase.
And you see a lot of knock-on effects of that where the 7% of people really hating something can be the loud minority.
Yeah.
And similar, the 7% of people having the best moment of their life today and photographing it for Instagram can make it feel like that is just like reality for everyone all the time.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's, it's the comparison is the thief of joy or something like that.
Yeah, there's your poetry.
Where it's like, if you look at Instagram, it's Instagram just as I'm going to use as a punching bag here.
How How will the meta stock recover?
They'll be fine. Dopamine. But it's easy to look at it and just be like, it's the extremes on all ends. Like, here's the horrible loud, and then also here's like someone driving a Maserati, and it's like, well, why don't I have a Maserati? And then also like, why are so many people dying?
Honestly, that is a good question though. Like, why
don't we have?
Why
a
are there so
Maserati?
many super rich people? That's crazy. We probably shouldn't let that happen though. Generally, I'm just
but on average,
putting it out
they're
there
not.
as a concept. You have a limited pool of resources, and if the rich people are more powerful than your governing institution that's just democratically driven,
now we're getting into something.
Well, I don't know. I'm just talking
note,
shop anyway. I don't know. It just seems weird that you could have more power than your government. It's strange.
Seems problematic.
Well,
what does that mean
is it strange?
It's not
or
strange.
Is it just
it's exceedingly normal.
What's been happening forever?
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Well, if one of those rich people could call themselves king, and then
there you go.
And then the other rich people could be the barons.
There you go.
That they would be given, and then they would give bread, in circuses. Anyway,
I'm gonna let you find a way
it was
to
a great
that
time.
into the topic.
It was a great time.
Great
time in history.
Great game's good enough. I got some questions. About
the topic that we've yet to get into.
Wait, can we talk about the topic yet?
Yeah, here we are. We got it.
Are we doing it now?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Is the topic in the room with us?
I don't even know if it is, man.
We'll start here. Here we go.
Team. What is the? How do you say this? Pronounce Tim Hisu?
Hisu.
It's Alan.
I feel like there was a comment. I know it's Alan. There's a comment about how to actually pronounce it, and I want to make sure I'm getting it right. Anyways, mind asking them when they start the main topic. In a world of 1,000 CCGs and TCGs, is the difference being able to present a strong community from quality and engaging OP.
Organized play. This is a good way to kick it off. So here's the number of things that have happened like we set up at the beginning. One of the things is I look at a game like Hub World Eidolon, and I think to myself, system
what a wonderful world.
Is awesome. I do think that actually. Yeah. What a wonderful world. The
what
system is awesome.
That has some legs.
Just as there was a million branches down the Magic tree and the Yu-Gi-Oh tree and the Pokemon tree, this is one of the first beautiful kind of branches off of the original Netrunner system by Richard Garfield, fairly well-known designer. So it's doing that style of system. It's bringing in a lot of the design talent that has a lot to do with that style of system. It's putting a lot of innovative passes through it. It's changing the way that it functions, while still creating the, holding on to the core tension of what makes that system great, in the same way that the core tension of Magic is the cards that you play and whether or not they'll be able to swing through your opponents and your lines, your enemy lines. So it's doing that, and that is a type of game that is incredibly fun to play. Incredibly intense, incredibly fun. On the top of that, you have some of the most visionary artistic talent that is present in all of the industry, I would say, that spun off from Fantasy Flight and other places and ended up in Earthborne Games, doing this project together, creating a world, one of the greatest world-building teams potentially that is out there, and puts this theming and this kind of visceral texture to all of the cards and all of the things that you're using in the game, and the card backs and the assets and everything is just the templates. It's just such a high level of beauty and polish in the right direction. Like, it's not like there's so much soul there, and there's so much just like, you just love it. You want to learn more about that world. And you have all of this spinning around, and then there's this box that's beautiful. And inside of this box, you have this team, Earthborne Games, throughout the crowdfunding campaign, has just strictly made everything that you backed in that game found better, because they wanted to make it better, because they're interested in perfecting and doing more and realizing their vision more fully. So it was, kind of pitched as a box of cards that is the play set of the first set. This is the Prime Collective release. This is the main release. So you have this big, all these cards in this box, and these cards are a draft cube, like you said, and then you can also use them to make a deck to play a constructed game with. Cool. So it's like a TCG, but there's no booster packs. You know the drill. But it's not, and it is an LCG, quotations, et cetera, et cetera. But it's also 2 times a year. It's bigger boxes. It removes a lot of the logistical problems of the LCG format, et cetera.
Draft cube.
Also draft cube. And so then they announced like, hey, also, by the way, we decided to, rather than just put all the cards in the box, we decided to package the box with 4 pre-con decks with their own individual deck boxes with certain kind of storage considerations within there. So that whenever you get this box of cards, you can open it and there are 4 playable decks right there. You can also use these deck boxes. They fit the sleeve decks. You can use these deck boxes forever. And that way you have a playable thing right out of the box as well as the additional cards for deck building. Wow. That seems way better and way more costly for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they get no more money for doing it. And then it's like, hey, we also totally retooled the playmatch. We're throwing 4 of the foldable playmatch or the poster playmats into this box as well, because like if you want to jump out and do a 4-player thing right out of that box, we want to give you all the ways to make that as good as possible. And we retooled the playmats entirely, where now they're perfectly centered. They actually line up with each other, so that your playmat and my playmat have a perfect straight line, that our districts and stuff line up, rows and all that line up. We realized that there was confusion as to when you add heat, so we added the heat icon at the end of the run so that you have an easy checklist on the playmat itself. We redid all the templating, we updated, and you're just going through all these updates, and it's like the first thing they pitched to you is better than most things that are currently available. Like you go to Gen Con. I wasn't there, Jonathan. I can't say this with any kind of, again, talking about truth being in the physical world. I wasn't in the physical world of Gen Con at that time. But I would guess that 90% of the card games that were yelling at you at Gen Con were worse than the first iteration of Homeworld that was pitched in that Game Found.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still went beyond that to make it better and better and better and better and better. And now we're pre-ordering for early next year. I think it's early or mid next Q1 of next year release for the first set of Homeworld Eidolon. Incredible system. Product has been made just delightful. So good. About as, how could you squeeze any more value out of it? Is that enough, though, to overcome the inevitable question, which is, well, yeah, but who am I going to play this game with? Is this worth spending my budget on? Is there enough here for me to do that the hundreds of other things that I can spend this $100 on is less than acquiring this product? And my answer to that, just to start us off here, is that yes. I think that if you make something totally great and you reach a minimal bar of awareness, because obviously you have to have that caveat, because if you make the greatest thing ever
and you get the fire started
and you never, and like 2 people see it, obviously that's not going to be successful. But if you get if you get it in front of a minimal bar of people, of which I'm not sure what that number is or how you would quantify that, and you put something great in front of them, I think that it will naturally do its thing if the thing is worth doing naturally. There's some poetry for you.
It rhymes.
Yeah, that's right. It's like one of those railroad, right? No, rail car. Race car. Race car.
Railroad.
Man, that was like 2 minutes of serious and then just right off the tracks.
It's the same forwards as it is backwards, because it was naturally at the front and naturally at the back.
I see. Race car.
Yeah. There's a palindrome.
Palindrome.
Some would call it.
So I believe that, but I don't know if it's true. I believe that, but I don't know if it's true. Same with Sorcery, right?
Go ahead.
I think Sorcery is in the same situation, and it is proof, I think, more that this is true. That you can say, we're going to not announce when we're doing X, Y, and Z. We kind of have organized play officially, and then we do, but then we kind of don't, but then we do. And there's all this harumphing around the edges of when is this set coming out? When is that? And do I? And then it says the ring to get and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end of the day, it's just like a new set comes out. It's absolutely delightful. It's so freaking good. And none of that matters.
So you said you believe it to be true, but you don't know if it's true.
That's right.
I want it to be true.
I want it to be true as well.
I don't believe it to be true, because here's where my brain goes on this. There was a video I was watching probably 6 to 9 months ago. It made a lot of sense to me. It stuck with me. And the basic idea was this. It was a study into success and the role that luck has on success. And whether or not there are truly more lucky people. And as someone who very much considers themselves a lucky person, that was something I would click on.
Yeah.
So I clicked. I wanted to know.
They got you.
And the conclusion of this study, and I think that there was like a funded proper study, right? Whatever that means. But it effectively was saying, actually, the barometer was not how lucky someone was. It was how effectively they used the opportunities where they were lucky. So as an example,
Capturing that.
it would be if you were trying to make a card game. Let's just zoom right in. It's like anyone that makes a card game is going to have some number of moments where luck happens. The right person plays it, the right content creator does it, like Earthborne would shut them sit down doing their video or whatever. There's going to be moments of luck.
Like you get it in front of something or somebody.
The right people, the right person, the right player decides to play it that's going to teach it to two friends, and then it's just going to, go from there. But effectively, how you utilize the luck that happens is a result of a lot of stuff, including a ton of hard work. You talk about Hub World and this continual refinement and the quality and the obsession and what they're doing. And you can do all of that, and timing is a massive deal here. That's part of what luck is. It's like a fortuitous thing happening.
Yeah.
The time that it happens, because maybe I think for whatever reason, the story of Decipher and the money laundering and that stuff, and the license getting swept out from under them from Wizards, and like all this bad luck, as it were. But I say all that to say, I kind of compare it to my mentality of being successful at a large tournament, where you have to be super good, you have to be really prepared, and you also have to get lucky at the right spots. Because sometimes your top 8 match is just your worst match. And sometimes they're on the other side of the bracket and they get eliminated before you make it to the finals, and you just win the tournament. I've had that happen so many times. I'll be in the top 4, I'll win. I'm looking at the other match, and it's like, I need one of these two people to win to actually win this tournament. Otherwise, I'm probably going to lose. And so I think that a great game, and I'm not talking a really good game, great game, is more likely to be successful, but it's not the only thing. And I think if you had to put a percentimeter on how important that is in the exchange, it's very high as compared to the right person playing it, or a content creator, or marketing, or reach, or organized play, or this. And I think even if you look at Magic's own history, like most of the things that are happening in between release and now contributing to their success are fractional compared to the work that went in before the game even came out, in terms of the weight that it has on their success. And it has helped them continue being successful and continue taking advantage of getting the Lord of the Rings license.
Right. Right.
And you were 25 years deep into doing Magic when you put Lord of the Rings on it, and then it went. And it was like that. Everyone can't just walk in and get the Lord of the Rings license. But even if right now we could go get the Lord of the Rings license, our level of success compared to Magic putting it on a Magic set is going to be very different.
Yeah, I think it would be less.
Just notably different.
Out of the gate.
So I think part of the noise factor from a few weeks ago, and you were talking about Gen Con, is when people have a mediocre to good product, and then you try to supplement that with a lot of effort or marketing or opportunity or
cash prizes, organized play,
incentives,
every store is going to stock
all these things.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to pin any. Again, part of it is also what kind of success are you looking for? Because if you don't achieve Magic level success, you're probably going to fail no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to sustainably make the thing you want to make, a la Sorcery or Earthborne and Hub World, knowing what you need to do to get to that level of success. But it'd be so easy to blame, well, our organized play is not quite right, or the prizes aren't quite right, or we need to market it better, or we need to do this thing. While the whole time the thing that's actually true is the game is actually just not good enough.
People just don't really want to play it.
And it may be good.
And
we
go
back to the good and great and the spark and the thing. And that's where I think that the things that are truly successful, however you want to define it, they usually do have that, like, some number of people deeply connect with it to the point, like I was talking about Star Wars books earlier. I'm not even going to pick it up unless 2 people in my life so deeply connected with a Star Wars book that they were like almost shoving it down my throat.
Yeah. They're like, you got to.
So when you reach a level of good where people are willing to try to shove it down other people's, they can't help but tell people about it.
Yes.
Right? It may not
They're
be.
moved,
Yeah,
right?
it may not be that Brandon Sanderson is for you or not. And I understand, having read it. I'm like probably a 7 out of 10 on it. But I know a ton of people in my life that are 10 out of 10s on it.
Do you know why they're 10 out of 10s? Where
I
you're
totally
7?
understand.
You get it.
Why?
What is the defining gap between your 7 and their 10?
I think for me, I lean more fantasy than sci-fi. So one thing that they love about Sanderson is that all of his magic systems are logical. It's not sci-fi exactly, because they're still fantasy in that, but they are like believable enough and explained. So like in Lord of the Rings,
like Metachlorian level, like
in Mistborn. I haven't read Mistborn, so I'm speaking on my depth. I've read it's so funny.
A classic Zach Bond.
I know, but
Let me talk about Magic the Gathering.
This is my point, though. Like, they are so in love with Sanderson and Mistborn and Stormlight Archives. I know how Mistborn works. Like, I have had it so...
It won't stop talking.
So it won't stop. It's like, gosh. So anyways, so they basically digest metal, which gives them powers, and different metals give you different powers. And so, but it's explained, and it's like, well, obviously, eating metal is not going to give us power.
Right.
But in that
do
world...
we know that, though?
I don't, I guess. Not from experience, from observation, maybe. Anyways... But it's explained how it works. And it's like, oh, if you eat copper in this world, the X happens.
Cool.
Whereas in Lord of the Rings, I have no idea how Gandalf's magic works or how powerful he actually is. I just know that sometimes he can like light up his staff. And then sometimes he can like make the Balrog not come across the bridge.
I've heard he's actually like a god.
Yeah. He's an angel.
Yeah, it's an angel.
An angel.
He's in the angel level.
Now, I do know more now.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not explained in like a...
Yeah, like in the book.
It's like he's from somewhere weird.
Here's a wizard.
Yeah,
like, he's doing weird stuff.
And there's like this... Anyways, so...
But mystery.
There's a mystery. There's like a suspension of belief. There's a... I don't need the answers. So like Sanderson will... He spends in the same way that I understand. I love Lord of the Rings. 10 out of 10 for me. But if you don't like a paragraph explaining how a tree looks, you might not like Lord of the Rings.
Why does everyone hate that Tom Bombadil stuff?
I love it.
The number of people I've heard, I can't get through Lord of the Rings because I just can't do the Tom Bombadil
I'll tell you
stuff.
why. It's because they would love Sanderson.
Yeah.
Because it's like Tom Bombadil is it's like a vibe. And it's very quickly introducing. So the hobbits in early Lord of the Rings go through this cycle. And it's like they basically repeat this pattern and they spin out a little further from the Shire every time. And it's like just a little bit different and weirder. You get like whites and like ghosts and like it's getting weirder. And so Tom Bombadil to me represents like the fantasy elements of the story. And it's like if everything, and this is the Sanderson problem for me, everything is relevant all the time. And so there's nothing that just is.
Got it.
So Tom Bombadil happens. And if you cut it from the book, nothing changes.
Yeah.
But it is a thing that happened, and it made the hobbits slowly like start appreciating a much weirder, broader world all of a sudden. And they it just happens, and then they go along, and it's like it has an impact on them. So it does change a little bit, but not from a plot perspective. You could just cut it. It's like 20 pages of what are we doing here? Like, why is this what's happening? So I understand why someone wouldn't like it. And I also understand, like, people, you get to the end of a Sanderson, they call it the Sanderslanch, the last like third of his books or quarter. It hits and then it just doesn't let up. And all the puzzle pieces he built in the first 75% of the book pay off and are collapsing on each other and like interacting in crazy different ways. And it's like, whoa. And it is cool. But it's also like, for me, it's almost exhausting.
Yeah.
Levels and like the further the stat gets built and the longer you get into the story, it's like, man, you really have to like, and I didn't realize it, but you've been stacking since page 1.
Got it.
And now it's like, my gosh, how much do I get? Each of those, the audiobooks, like 30, 40, 50 hours each. It's just so much. But for some people, that's like amazing.
Yeah.
Just crazy that he's doing it.
You know what's weird about that is like, is there a thing, as you say that, I've definitely read books in this vein, one or the other, like, there there's writing where you realize that the writer has an intention. It's like they're practicing a craft that is intentional and that is meant to reach a certain destination, and like they're very good at creating the pieces, as you said, that are going to get them there. Like a really well done TV show is similar. Like you realize that, oh, this is like going somewhere interesting and everything is mattering, and they're like doing TV really well. But it also is a much different experience from watching something or reading something that feels more like an expression. Like it's not strategic in its composition. It's more expressive. So it's more organic and more almost random, emerging from an artist rather than from the cerebral. It's like from the emotional side.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes into the concept. Tommy in our chat /Discord/ comments all the time talking about enchantment.
Yes.
Where Lord of the Rings has an enchantment to it, and like real life's weird, and the dots don't always connect.
Yeah,
like sometimes someone cuts you off in traffic and it doesn't have any meaning,
right?
You know?
Right.
And like sometimes you meet someone at the coffee shop that was really cool, and then never again are they in your life. But it still actually can establish a world and impact the character that had the like. If you're watching a movie in Lord of the Rings, 15 minutes in, you go to coffee and you meet this old guy, and he's like really kind of out there. And then he never comes back up in the movie.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's true. But a modern TV show is like, that is a critical piece of the plot.
But in Sanderson,
100%, yeah,
that is actually God was there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he was there the whole time. Isn't it crazy? It all connects, which is cool to an extent.
Yeah, that tracks. That actually tracks for me with like movies and TV now too. Sometimes it's like, you start to understand the templating where I'm meeting this person in this narrative because it matters.
Yes.
Now it's not random. It's not just like life. But then there are some movies or TV shows that I watch where it feels more like this is a textural component to the universe and the story, rather than a plot or like a device. They're not a device that moves the story along. They're just the wallpaper that you somehow get to sink into this a lot more. And those are the things that I reverberate with a lot.
Yeah.
Like Blade Runner 2049, you know, like when I think about that movie, the amount of texture to that film is remarkable. And even like Holdovers. Did you watch Holdovers on the plane?
Not yet. No.
So good.
But there's just stuff in the background and the sets and stuff. And sometimes movies do that. And they're like, oh my God, that thing. Like even Lebowski, like they have the scissors scene. And it's like, oh, those scissors were in like Maud's thing. And they were a painting back there. It all's kind of connecting a little bit. But then a lot of the time, the greatness of it is that this is just the world that these people find themselves in. And a lot of it's random and weird.
Yeah. Well, and the random and weird is a lot of times what grounds the world and makes it come alive. In a different kind of way. Like it does feel contrived if everything is connected too much.
That's the Star Wars problem.
Yeah.
That's what they did to Star Wars.
That is the Star Wars problem.
They Sandersoned it.
Whereas early on, it was just sort of like, that was a weird alien.
Yeah.
Never see him again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's IG-88.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Like the universe is so massive. You should literally, if Han runs into Greedo, it's like, we probably are never going to see him again.
Right. Yeah.
That's the idea of how big that universe is.
Yeah. That's what
but
they
instead,
took away.
Everyone's a Skywalker or a Palpatine, and everyone becomes a Jedi. And there's like 12 characters in Star Wars.
Well, so weirdly enough, there is something that I feel when we're talking about greatness when it comes to games, and it's pretty much in this vein. It's like there is something deeper that's happening at the table that is not a cerebral intention behind the designer. So it's not that I am creating this game in a way that is to drive you to this exact feeling every time. It's that there's been enough what I would consider organic expression and freedom within the game itself that a lot of people have contributed a lot of somewhat random things that create this kind of very textured world and experience that you're now finding yourself in. Like I think Sorcery does this very well. Homeworld is crushing this too. The greatness of one of the many things that makes Sorcery great is I know a Brian Smith card when I see it. And I know that it's a Sorcery card. I know it's a Brian Smith card or Liz Danforth card or Melissa Benson card or whatever it is. It's that those people in their world have been able to take what is behind their soul, if you will, to give you a non-Sanderson term, and express it in a way that's within sorcery, but not rigid. And like sorcery doesn't always look like this or feel like this.
It's because sorcery is not so defined that it has to look like something.
Yeah.
But there's a spirit to it that makes it sorcery that carries through all of it with all the different artists.
Yeah, but then see what happens is people, I don't want to say people. I'm going to say usernames now. I think that's going to be a more effective way to describe the internet. There are various usernames out there who are like, we need the planeswalkers, guys. Like, we need some narrative behind this universe. We need this all to I think those are the Sanderson people. Right? It's like, that's the last thing that I want. This idea, this beautiful, like kind of crazy, random, like what's in the background of the Fellbog Frogmen? Like, what is that? What are these frogmen and what are they doing? And why are they here? And where is Fellbog? And am I in the same world? What is this? Like, I don't know. They jump. You can move a space over whenever you block and defend. It's not very good. But it's like, I don't want to know any more about the frogmen. Let me do the rest. Yeah. Let the world live.
Well, and I think that's where you get into when you said that, it evoked the word imagination for me, where I think it's part of what leaving that gap does is allows you to use your imagination versus just knowing everything.
Yeah, we're addicted to knowing things.
It's fun getting to know things for a while.
Is it? Yeah.
And then eventually, it's like it goes back to the Pokemon examples.
It is fun because I obsessed over that, and it was super fun.
Yeah, and then it's over.
But it's like
an example, those frogs, right? It's like, okay, we're gonna tell a story across 5 sets with these frogs. It's like, well, actually, it turns out the frog was the king, but he was cursed, and then he became a king again. He got fixed. The curse got fixed. And that king, hypothetically, let's just say that king's last name is Skywalker. And then it's like, oh, actually, the princess from the first set is also a Skywalker. And then in set 6, and then like you start layering on top. And it's like, at first, it's a clever connection. And it's like, oh, that you look at the frog again, you're like, oh, it's the king the whole time. This is amazing. But over time, it just leaves so little space. And I think that's one of the truly magical things about card games in general. And they have this ability. And I feel this with Hellborn. I feel this with Sorcery, where they essentially give you the tools. There's 2 layers to this. One is, in my mind, tabletop games can be art. And art makes some people feel things and other people nothing. Music, books, literal paintings, etc. The other part is that they give you the tools. I think about us playing Star Wars as teenagers. Even knowing the characters and the stuff. And it's like, yeah, except for like this random Tusken that I had fought your random insert character here. And something happened. And like in our game, that Tusken really mattered. And in your game of Sorcery, that frog might really matter. It's like, that's the frog they wrote poems about for eons because he saved the day.
Yeah.
But it's in that game it happened. And it's allowing, those gaps allow you to imagine something that happened there. It's like when people come over to tell you about a round of Sorcery, they're basically telling you a story. It's one of the fascinating things about Sorcery. And it's their story. And so the more defined it gets, the less it's their story, and the more it felt like Luke and Vader fighting on Bespin. And now we're just retelling the story we already know.
That's so much of it.
And so there's a line there. And there is a sense of wonder that can either be there or not.
So for us, it sounds like that is one of the key aspects of great. A great game is art, and art is at its best when you are led to wonder and like be taken into a different world and to wonder about it and have this kind of texture of that world that you're appreciating without everything being super defined.
And I think that tends to come out in, you were talking about cerebral versus, what was the other one?
Just like emotional. I mean, it's a word that's gotten, unfortunately, roasted.
It's a loaded word at this
point. Yeah. Intuitive, but like emotional.
That when soulful. I talk about the spark, it's like you can feel it when you're engaging with something. And it could just be, I feel it about certain things. But I feel it when I'm engaging with certain things. And it usually is like there was something. I describe it. I've talked to a lot of different publishers, and there's games that come out of the brain.
Yes.
It's like I had an idea.
God, this is so true.
I needed to make the thing, and there's games that almost come out of the soul or the heart. And that's why I use soul and spirit and these words all the time. It's like
Tom is like spinning in his chair right
felt
now.
this, yeah. It's like enchantment. It's called enchantment. But like I felt this thing. It was in my bones, and I had no choice but to bring it forth.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, it's not a cerebral thing that you have in front of you, even though it presents that way. It can present that way. And that's where you get these, Tom Bombadil. And it's like, well, why is this here? And it's because, well, Tolkien had this thing in him that he was bringing out. He was not mapping out the logic fully. I mean, he was doing both, but I think it had to have started with the spark inside that was like wanting to tell this story and make people feel this way. And part of the story is like, it's pretty weird. Like from the top, you start with the hobbits. It's like these tiny people that don't wear shoes and have hairy feet and like sound lovely. Like I would love to retire as a hobbit, like it sounds amazing. And then et cetera, you go through the whole thing and it's like, it's just a part of the way it feels and the intended way it was supposed to feel.
You know what's absolutely crazy when I'm thinking about this is, and we're talking, because we kind of have to define great before we can define if a great game is enough, right? So what makes something great? What's weird that I've never considered before this moment is that feeling, that kind of soul wrenching, that kind of capital A art that is the muse inspired coming out of a human being and like being presented. That feeling is actually so much more important than the mechanics of a game. Because like how many games in like the throwback realm, especially, where we like, this is incredible, and we actually only kind of know how to play it. Like even the designers like kind of don't know how to play it. Even we're playing Alpha Magic, right? We're playing Alpha Magic with Eric. It's clear that they have no idea what they're doing. Like mathematically, they have no concept of what they're doing.
Yeah, Old School Magic is absolutely that.
But my God, you look at a Mox and you're just like, yeah, I mean, this is insane.
Clearly important.
Balance-wise, this doesn't make any sense. And how can you have a thing that generates all of this for zero? And obviously, but
that was coming from a not cerebral place.
Yeah, it's just like, but it's a sweet gym, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's good.
The way it makes you feel.
And you're just like, oh, man, this feels great.
And I think that's the most powerful use of tabletop in this way is understanding you can essentially create a set of mechanics and a set of cards that can allow people to have undefined experiences almost to no end, infinitely. I think about D&D, and you were talking about role-playing earlier, or GURPS, that depend on your taste and preference.
The generic universal role-playing system.
Starts with generic. It's going to land.
Yeah, it's enchanting.
But as an example, it's like D&D creates a system and a vibe and a setting, etc. And you can have some just truly absurdly connected and like real moments playing that. Like so magical, truly. And I think the original creators of D&D would love the idea that is it, that's true. But because it's the system that is meant for you to play in, it allows you to do that.
Right.
Almost indefinitely.
They just took all the straight lines off from the start.
Yeah. Here's a box, play.
Now, that said, it was like mainly war game simulation at the start, and this idea that like I could figure out which of these characters is going to win if we fight, and there's a randomness to it with the dice, and I'm able to kill your orc warrior or whatever, and we resolve that combat. And then it did, over time expand. And I think one of the great things that D&D and role playing at large did, and this is you can see this in the culture of role playing, is that it was very much like anyone who wants to take a pass at this can just do it. Like, oh, you want to do it this way? Cool. Let's try that. Oh, you want to do it that way? Cool. We want to roll dice. We want to not roll dice. We want to have characters that are this kind of way, that kind of way. And eventually it's just kind of this idea that this is a giant playground that started as something that was really inspired and it expanded into something because it didn't try to hold the reins. It expanded into something that just exploded, and became inspired by all sorts of different people. And that combination, that stew, if you will, was super, super powerful.
Yeah.
But I think what is being hinted at here in the tabletop space is that a lot of these games, and I got this report, I have my buddy Philip, who I'm meeting with actually shortly, to talk about this exact thing. Went to Gen Con, and it's basically, he's an old gamer as well, and basically kind of like, yeah, this is all basically derivative, whatever, like Magic, clone kind of stuff. And I think a lot of these games come out of exactly what you're talking about, this cerebral idea that, oh, like, here's how this game works. Wouldn't it be clever if it worked a little bit different like this? This is my grand innovation, is like, what if instead of tapping the lands, you flip them over, and then maybe sometimes you had to have, like, Digimon is a really great system, but it's like, what if instead of tapping my resources, I had to give them to you, and then when you spent them, you gave them back to me? That's one of the singular evolutions of how resources can work on cards. But if you're approaching a game like that first, and then you're saying, and then I'll just like theme it and like throw some art on it, and I can get like some good art, and then we'll go. That's just not coming from that same place. That's not coming from the place that Earthborne Rangers came from for Andrew, or that Sorcery came from for Eric. No way. And so you kind of have to understand coming into this that great, at least to us, is coming out of this sense of urgency, this artistic urgency that is very difficult to define and understand. But it is not simply starting with a mechanical tweak on an existing system and saying, if these mechanics were but a little bit different, this game would have been way more successful.
Yeah. Well, and I think the quote that comes to mind for me is, I think it was Steve Martin. He said something along the lines of
the banjo player.
In fact, the jerk himself. Something along the lines of like, be so good they can't ignore you. And it kind of ties into this for me, where the reason Sanderson is getting so popular is because he connects with some number of people, and he got to those people that it's so good for them, they can't help but like force it on others or share it, or want other people to get to experience this thing that they've experienced. And so realistically,
Magic was too
100%. Realistically, when we say great, you have to be so great that, and this would make your thesis at the beginning true. If you're so great that people can't help but want to talk about you and talk about what you're doing and share it with other people, introduce other people to it, and also you get some requisite initial number of people, you have to have the beginning of the thing. But if you connect with people in that way, that's like the beginning. And I think the line on how great you have to be for that to be true is much higher than most people think.
Yeah.
And the reason that coming from the soul matters is because if it doesn't, it's so hard to actually keep pouring in until you get past that line.
I see.
Otherwise, like if it's just a cerebral thing, you will run into the roadblocks and then you will bail one way or another.
Or you will like constantly be solving them in ways that aren't about the actual problem.
Yes.
But are about
because the actual problem is not cerebral.
But all the things surrounding it are such cerebral puzzles. You think, to your point, cerebrally, I say, like, if I had done a different tournament structure, more people would have played. Or like if I had changed the packaging, it would have been more appealing to the customer.
Yeah. And we see this play out. Magic had nothing, and look what happened. And then you look at Netrunner, and it's like FFG, love them, was not ready for 2012 Netrunner or X-Wing.
Right.
But those games were undeniable.
Yeah.
They were going to happen.
Yeah.
Once they showed up, it was painfully obvious. Like at Gen Con, people played it, and it was like life-changing.
And that is a key part of this conversation for Netrunner in the relation to Hub World specifically, is that Netrunner was so great that the model not making sense for a game store did not matter.
Model not making sense didn't matter. The complete lack of organized play, actual traditional good organized play support didn't matter. The complete lack of rotation, ban, restricted, limited, draft, prizes, the whole thing. Like in spite of all of it, the pairing of the game, the theme, the art, the world, the way it felt to play was undeniable. And they had also a base of FFG people that was big enough to kind of, and it's not that a lot of people didn't do work and they didn't do marketing and they didn't do Gen Con, but they owned Gen Con. And that was the beginning of them owning Gen Con in a real way.
It was.
And like, they just had it and they had it over and over again. And that doesn't mean it's going to be successful forever, et cetera. But I think those qualities are why these things are all linked together, where there's a high bar to get to that takes so much commitment, determination, and like obsession. And even then, there are elements that could stop you in your tracks. But at the same time, if you're at that level and it's almost impossible for people not to share, like think about Philip going around Gen Con playing all those games. If you're not the game that someone plays, and if I said, hey, I was Gen Con, you're like, you've got to play X.
Yeah. If he was coming home being like, dude, I have to show you something.
I have to show you
this
this game.
This game is incredible.
Yeah.
I will say the bar for tabletop is even higher than it is for something like Sanderson too, which is even more troubling because like, I can't just be obsessed with Sanderson. I can just be obsessed with Sanderson, read the books, and maybe like that's it. Or maybe then I talk about it online, or maybe I talk to people, dude, Sanderson's awesome. But like, I need you to play Sorcery.
Yeah.
For me to play Sorcery.
That's right.
So the bar of like how many people you need in, or anybody to be in, is realistically high. I think there's two things that are obvious here for me. One is it's obviously there's a million reasons why this makes sense, but when you think about something that's great pouring out of this kind of artistic urgency from somebody or some number of people, and how often it happens that moment does occur and the thing is great, but then what is inevitably going to happen after that is it's going to shift from that to more and more of a cerebral equation of, can we make another episode? Can we do another movie? Because it makes sense that if there are people out there that love this thing that you made, we should make more of it so that we can get more money from them ultimately, but like so that we can give them more of the story, more of the characters, more. But you can't bare your soul in that way over and over and over on demand. That's not how this process works.
But I think that's where if you do start there and you understand what you were trying to create and what you wanted people to feel, you can consistently deliver that. I think that is possible. I think about Sorcery, right? There's a way it felt to play a card game in 1993 that they are capturing.
Right. Yes, I will say that's true, but they couldn't deliver that if the cerebral side of the market with 3 to 4 sets a year said you got to make 3 to 4 sets a year.
I agree with that.
Because you can't do what Eric's doing 3 to 4 times a year. It's not feasible.
Yeah.
Both emotionally, mentally, logistically, it's not possible. And so you could sacrifice that to make more sets and make more short-term cash. Yeah. That is definitely a thing that could happen. But we see how that ends up over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Andrew could turn Hubworld into a 3-month release cycle TCG.
Absolutely could.
He could do that. And sometimes when you talk to Andrew, he's like, maybe I should make a TCG and just make all this dumb money. He doesn't say that. I put words in his mouth. He doesn't say dumb money. I do. Of course, he would be the kind of person that would say dumb money, actually.
I want to call him.
I love you, Andrew. Hopefully, you would believe that you would say the things that I'm saying you were saying right here live on the cast.
Sign off?
Yeah, go ahead and sign the document if you would. But he's not. And he's not doing that because of any kind of cerebral pursuit. It's not like it makes sense to make it this way. It's that this is the thing that I want to create. And I want it to be a thing that players buy and they open and they have all the cards. They get to see the entire world all at once and all these kinds of things. So, okay, fair game. Great games are a certain kind of way that you and I are waxing poetically and romantically about. But
if they're so great, you can't help but share them.
Yes. But that is the inevitable problem. The real question here is, how do you get your great thing to enough people that they will then spread the fire?
You know what? I have a perfect question to highlight this.
Wow.
From the very beginning of the stream, and I said I will make sure I ask it.
He looks like an owl. Where's your face?
Here I am.
There he is.
The
He
chat
looks so
deleted
similar.
itself, but this is Razel's Ghost 6108 says, I've been working on a TCG of my own recently and am really wondering what a good way is to try and get that into the hands of people. Any advice? Is Kickstarter really helping? What is it?
Well,
what do we do? How do we get it to the people who are going to
two
love
things. If you're working on a game, go to our homepage, scroll to the
This
bottom.
episode is a giant advertisement.
Yeah. Everything we do is, if you look at it the right way. Anyways, you can fill out a form and contact us. That's part of what we do, is try to help that be true.
We try to find the soul-bearing art
Yeah,
games.
and we can. There's only so many of them, and we can only actually support so many of them. And most of them don't connect with us. The spark is not there. That's just the way reality is. And so there's that. But I also think Kickstarter is, I think, is hugely impactful, crowdfunding in general, for people without the funding to do a project and raise a lot of awareness and raise the funds to do this. And it has led to a lot more games coming out, which is both awesome that that's democratized and creates problems because it's noisy. So not only now do you have tons of crowdfunding games, like right now, I think if I were thinking about making a TCG, it's like, from a timing perspective, terrible. But that's just a reality you're going to face. And I think there's a lot of games that have come out when people say it's terrible and they still succeed.
They were great enough.
Star Wars Destiny was this way. Like, making a TCG back then, especially for FFG, was not ideal.
With dice in a booster pack,
just
without
absolutely
any real rarity.
And still, and without rotation, and they had 9 months of an unbalanced format, and the organized play was weak at first, and they made basically every mistake you can possibly make, and yet still.
But the heart of that game,
so good.
It was so good.
So
people still talk about it.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but just know what you're getting into. I think it's a very crowded market. I think it's only getting more crowded. There were so many games. We weren't even at Gen Con, and there were so many games. And part of why we're not at Gen Con is because we already have so many games. It's like, we don't need to find more, actually.
Also, if you're going to launch a card game or a TCG or whatever, is this actually like a deep, crazy need that you have?
Yeah.
You know, like, ask yourself honestly, like, is this a hobby? Is this like a project you think would be fun to do? Is this like a thing that you maybe think you could find some success with? Maybe you think you're decent at marketing and you know, you kind of got, you've got some money and you think it'd be a fun thing to spend your time doing the next couple of years. And, you know, is it that kind of vibe? Or is it like, I have something that I have been working on for 20 plus years in the back of my head, in the back of my soul, and I have to get it out to people. And I don't care what happens, and I don't care if it's successful or not. I need to make this for me more than I need to make it for anybody else or for any kind of financial reasons.
Well, I think just there's a lot of questions you could ask yourself. One is the 20-year version, but another one is, like, does this have to exist?
Right.
Is that how you actually feel about it? Because it's hard. It's unlikely you're going to be successful. It's going to take a lot more time and effort than you think it's going to take. So
very expensive.
Just know that's what you're getting into. And if you're laying there at night and you can't go to sleep because you're thinking about it, and you wake up and you're thinking about it, and you know that if you just put this away, you're going to not ever be able to stop thinking about it, that's the level it needs to be at, most likely, unless you're coming in with a ton of experience and money just to start.
Yeah.
And if you have that,
yeah, you can overcome
and you want
the
to
soul
just, like,
problem all
mess
the time.
around.
Yeah. Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic
great.
Universe, baby.
But if it's a need, if it has to happen, you're probably on the right track. And then how to navigate that, it really is going to, if you'd asked 2 years ago, it would be a different answer. And so it's constantly evolving. That's another part of the challenge. There's a timing thing. There's an approach thing. There's what's the current reality. Like, I think we're saturated right now, and there's just more coming. And it's, so you have to, another piece of this is not only does it need to exist, but why does it need to exist? Why this game? And you need to be able to communicate that so clearly to anyone. If you're going to message us, if you're going to try to do a crowdfunding campaign, if you're going to try to pitch it and sell it, why does this thing need to exist when all these other options already exist?
Great questions. Yeah. So if the answer to that is yes, it does need to exist, and I'm going to make this thing, and it's going to come out of my just like spirit being, right? What then do I do? Because I could have a game like Hub World in a prototype that is sitting on my shelf right now that I built, and I have let's say I have 10 years of lore and sketches and things that I've written down and this incredibly rich world, and it's got this like really creative, different kind of twist on it, like with Earthborne Rangers, right? This idea that we're getting out of this dystopian mindset and thinking about these biomelds that saved the Earth that we now have to kind of reconfront as we emerge from hibernation after they've kind of fixed the planet that we've nearly destroyed. That's interesting. So let's say I've got all of that. It's interesting, it's unique, it's creative, it's like truly from a place of passion. It's urgent, it's got all the sparks, and it's sitting there on my shelf, and I need to know what to do with this thing. Like, do we even know the answer to that yet?
I mean, the answer is what we already said, which is it's one of two things.
Buy my book.
Contact us, literally, and then we'll have that conversation to see if we can find a way to make it go from there. Or whatever your path, just start going. Like, find a way. And believe that you're going to find a way one way or another, right? You're going to have to find a factory, you're going to have to do the art, you're going to have the whole 9 yards. And like, that's
do you need money or not? I mean, that's the first question.
Yeah. But you just keep it. I don't know why I'm just thinking of quotes today. I think about that Jyn Erso, Rogue One, like, what is it? Like, we'll take one chance and then another until we're all out of chances or whatever. And it's like, rebellion is built on hope. So are card games.
Yeah.
So like, you just keep going. You take one chance after another. And that's where that coming from, that need, urgency, soul place is so important. Because like, again, you need to hit the 1 in a million Death Star run. Like, or 1 in a billion. Like,
that's right.
And it's hard. And the rebel base is probably going to get blown up. Like, that's the most likely outcome. So if in the face of all that, you still want to keep going, Godspeed and go get it.
And I would say at the end of the day, if things aren't working, be open to the possibility that it's just not great. Because you cannot overcome the fact that not enough people want to do the thing. Like, I don't need any incentive structure at all from anyone to want to go grab 6 packs of sorcery and play a sealed deck pool right now. I need nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Other than the thing itself.
Me and you, the idea of me and you sitting down and playing Hub World right now is something I absolutely want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't need any incentives or anything outside of the game being great.
Well, and not even that's like almost assuming an ideal condition. Like, let's say we plan to go hang out at a pub today and play games. Perfect conditions. And we have Hub World sitting here. Then it's like, yeah, I don't need any incentives to go play Hub World at that point. But in real life, it's actually got to go further than that. It's like, what's going to get me to block out the time to go hang out and play with you? Because my life is very full right now. And like, what's going to get people to choose this over literally everything else in their life they could be doing? Spending time with family, reading books, watching movies, playing outside, like going on, like literally why, especially at TCG. It's like, you could go on vacation with this money. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so basically it has to be that great.
Undeniable.
Like, it has to be that great.
It has to be that so great, you can't ignore it.
So focus,
or not do it.
Focus less on the organized play and the marketing and the website and the this and that accoutrement and whether or not you're going to have this promotion or that promotion or whatever. And don't stop until the game is so remarkable that you don't think you can do anything else to make it better. That's what Andrew does at Earthborne. That's what Eric and the team at Sorcery are doing. I know that to be true, having visited them. That's what the guys at freaking Old King's Crown are clearly doing. If you've been following their campaigns and their story, like there are studios and people out there that are just so driven to make something incredible that they spend all of their time on that, and then everyone complains they're not doing the other things. And I think my hope and my belief is that if they're that good at doing that thing, they don't need to do the other things, period.
Yeah. I actually, you can be good enough that I think that's true. And I think very few games are that good. There are 2 quotes coming in that I need to read. This is a good finale. So one is from our friend Terrence.
Oh, Terrence.
Saying, Robert Heinlein put it pretty well. Remember, at the end of the day, you were competing with beer.
Or complimenting.
Yeah.
And because we can drink beer and play Hub
Final
World.
Turn Games, the Richard Garfield quote. Yeah, that goes back to Richard Garfield, creator of Magic, Netrunner, Star Wars TCG, etc.
BattleTech.
Robo Rally.
I mean, it doesn't end.
Speaking of something that
So
needs to come back,
goes back to Richard Garfield's advice that if players don't want to immediately play your prototype again, then the game still needs a lot of work.
at the end of the day, that's what it comes back to. Do people want to play the game you're making?
Yeah.
If you have to explain why it's different and why it's good and why it's innovative and why this mechanic is better and how they missed it and all that, you're gone. You're done. Like I should want to be like, I would be like, oh my God, I got to get back into this. I got to do this again.
Yeah.
So yeah, make things great. Don't worry about the rest so much. It'll happen, right?
That's the hope.
Right? And then also, like, yeah, you kind of got to get a low bar of marketing crossed.
I mean,
and you probably need a lot of money.
You need some number of people to do it.
Yeah.
For that to go. And
But
as you
dang,
pointed
just
out,
make it
tabletop
great.
requires other people.
The rest will usually happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it
If
won't,
you
know,
can
life's-
make it that great.
Life's a
It
series
is
of
true.
random dice rolls,
All
I
right.
suppose.
Let's get out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments on YouTube or head over to our Discord channel. We have an industry discussion channel. It's one of my favorite places on the internet.
And what do you guys think? I know that there will be opinions that are like, this is crazy. Like, it's all about manipulating the algorithms and getting the attention and convincing people that the hype is real and all that. And I think we've seen a lot of that, and there's proof that that can be successful. So I would love to know your thoughts on this in the YouTube comments or in our industry discussion channel on Discord, because certainly, if it's a 10, if this topic is a 10 for us, it's definitely a 1 for somebody.
Yeah.
That's
Probably
right.
old Chris Peach. We're always at the wrong side of the argument. And then sometimes we're on the same side and it's like, oh my gosh, something we both agree on.
What is wrong?
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and go back Hub World. Go pre-order Hub World on our website.
There it is.
It is truly one of the great games coming out this year.
In the next year.
In the next year.
Yeah, there it is.
Take care, y'all.